Hi everyone. Well, I don't know if this sounds I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit. Hi. Oh no, I'm getting double sounds. Wait, hold on, wait. There. Hey everyone. Hi. I am Trooper SJP and this is the Academic Foxhole. Welcome in. It is Thursday and we're playing video games. I also forgot to take my multivitamins, which I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna take my multivitamins because I forgot to, but I'm going to do so right now because I just ate. Hey, Ice Bunny. Hey, Pope, and also Rissa. Also, apparently, Rissa, you are drinking juice from your Bricktops mug. This is my vitamin E, my fish oil. This is my vitamin D, because it's the time of the corona and whoever goes outside, nobody knows. So, although I just came from outside, which is why I'm a little sweaty. And then this is my actual multivitamin. Okay. So, yeah, Pope's like, what is outside? I want you to know something. I always wear a mask when I go outside. And wearing a mask ruins my handlebar mustache, but I do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. I want you to know it. I want you to know it. Oh, it arrived in the mail yesterday. Do you love your mug? Because I love that image. I just think it's so good. And wait, I will tell you all those thoughts after I finish my intro. We're playing more Wandersong, which was one of the nominees for Excellence in Narrative from the Independent Games Festival for 2019. It is now almost October of 2020. After Wandersong, because Thursdays is when I play games on the Mac, and Saturdays is when I play games on the PS4. And so after we finish this game, I was asked to play a visual novel by the creator of that visual novel, so we'll do that. And then after that, who knows? Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Krellin, bobellin, banana, fana, fofelin, fee, fi, mo, melon. Krellin, atomica, bobatomica, banana, fana, fofatomica, fee, fi, mo, matomica. Atomica. Woo. Hey, thank you for the resubs, Krellin. I'm your singing tell ambush. Krellin, you know what I'm thinking right now, right? I'm thinking about those videos from way back in the day, from way back in the day, with the sneak attack, right? The D&D 3.0, 3.5 iconic characters. Everyone was making little videos, right? And there was like Lita, right? The elf, and she's like, sneak attack, right? And like, because she's like, no, she's not an elf, she's like a halfling, right? She's like Lita the halfling, and the only way that she could, it's any kind of sneak attack, right? And she's like, sneak attack, because she's got a little dagger, but it's really, really small, because sneak attack, that's all. Rissa, I do owe you a name game, because you name gamed in the right before I swapped screens, and also welcome in Atomica. I'm here, and Rissa, bobissa, banana, fana, fofissa, fee, fi, momissa. Rissa. What a great community this is. I just went, oh hey, you know what I did? At least I don't know if I did do it. Also, Atomica apparently has a game suggestion you must throw at me. Well, if you must throw it at me, then you must, and there's nothing I can do about it. And so then you should. What is it? What is the suggestion? Also, I think that I did a tweet. I have this thing. No, I did. Okay. So I set up a thing on my Stream Deck. So, all right. So this is what it is. I almost never actually tweet that I'm live when I'm playing video games. I almost only tweet when I'm doing RPGs. So I set up little buttons on my Stream Deck to see if it would work. And apparently it did. When the past was around. Oh, what is that about, Rissa? Pardon me, Atomica. What is it about? I had my bathroom flooded and found out the drain is either a floor or a sink drain. That makes figuring out how to fix it a bit harder. Oh no, Ice Bunny, that's terrible. Can you get a plumber to go and fix that? Can you get a plumber? Can you get a plumber? Plumber? It's a little $7 2-hour puzzle game with an incredibly full, bittersweet musical story that I think. Oh, well then. Oh, you know what? You know what I can do right now? Give me a second, because I'm on this screen and not the other screen, which means I can actually quit out of Wandersong. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, but I'm just gonna quit out so I can look up this game on the Steam in the Steam library, and then I can just put it on my wish list so I can pick it up later, so I don't forget it, because I don't want to forget it. It is called When the Past Was Around. That's not how you spell when. That's fine. But I see it. Here it is. When the Past Was Around. When the Past Was Around is an adventure point-and-click puzzle game about love, moving on, letting go, and the joy and pain of everything in between. That sounds awesome. And I'm going to just add this to my wish list. It is also Mac compatible. And it is now done. And I am happy. Origami Shuriken, how are you? I was just thinking about you for a reason, Origami Shuriken, and I cannot remember what that was, but there was a reason. It's about a woman dealing with love, loss, and recovery, and it's just beautiful. Oh, that sounds really wonderful. It sounds like a game that I would be right up my alley. It might... Rissa, we don't know how long it'll take me. Honestly, I don't want to spend money on a 48-year-old bathroom that should have been renovated 20 years ago, and I'm angry enough to fix it. Hey, you know what, Ice Bunny? If you've got those plumbing skills, I honor you. It was art related. Thank you. I just wanted to tell you all that Origami Shuriken made some fan art for City of Light and Shadow, and I'm very excited to sort of put it up into our slideshow so that you can see it. Ooh. Actually, you may not be able to see it tomorrow. I'm gonna update the slideshow, but I do not believe you'll be able to see the slideshow during the break tomorrow, because I've got a video to show you all during the break tomorrow that I took from the YouTube that I want you to see. So, yeah. Also, yeah, hey, Cable, in fact, right? Yeah, I'm still pumped from making my first Etsy sale. Oh, Origami Shuriken, tell us about your Etsy shop sale. How long have you had an Etsy shop? Tell us about it. What is the experience like of having an Etsy shop? I feel like there's more details that you can tell us. It's so mean, but I think I made that joke yesterday at Cindy's. It's fine. Yeah, so congratulations, but say more. So I wanted to tell you all something. I want to tell you a lot of things, actually. Is that true? It probably is. I just opened the shop last month. It's full of my crocheted shawls, which I have one, and it's wonderful. It's gold. Okay, Origami Shuriken, this is... Okay, actually, everyone in chat, I'm going to tell you what just happened. You saw me have a reaction, and I did not verbalize what was happening inside my mind, so you did not know what was happening inside my mind. This happens all the time. Very often, I'm having a conversation with someone, but I'm also having a second conversation with them in my mind at the same time. I'm often having more than one conversation at the same time. And usually it's something like, person says something, I'm thinking a response, and I say a different response, and then I'm imagining what they would say to that response that I didn't actually say, and then I was like, so like sometimes I just have like these. It's like a video game with branching conversations. I have branching conversations happening in my head all the time, and I just said a thing, and a thing happened. And so let me tell you, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Drunken Scout, Bunkin' Scout, Banana Fana, for Funkin' Scout, fee, fi, mo, Munkin' Scout. Drunken Scout. Thank you for that resub, Drunken Scout. Where's my cursor? I don't even know. I have a cursor. Oh, there it is. Because I want to see what message you left. You said, is it true that what you do has GM appeal? Oh, no. Yeah. So that would make me Gemma? So I'm Gemma Peel. Also, be right. I want to thank you for those bits. Also, Drunken Scout, 3 months. Has it been that long already? It has. It's been that long. So I have mood. You know what this means? Don't worry. You know what? If you can give me bring up some Jim Appeal, I'm there. I'm gonna sing "We're in the Money," and I'm gonna sing it almost right now, and I'm gonna sing it using my megaphone, which I bought specifically because I wanted to sing old-timey songs from back in the day. You know, things like, "Come to me, my melancholy baby." Right? All those kind of good, heartbroken crooner songs from before we had microphones, and when they were singing, they wanted to sing, but they couldn't, you can't belt a crooning song, and so they were using these, megaphones. And this megaphone, hey, Evie, I miss you and I love you and I hope you're doing well. It is so good to see you, Evie. This megaphone is basically gold, which goes back to what I was going to say before I sing the song, which was that I said that Origami Shuriken made me a crocheted shawl in gold. And then I continued to have that's all I said out loud. But then I continued to have these thoughts in my mind that I did not share out loud. But then I had a visual reaction, and I had a moment, and I'm sure you were thinking, what am I thinking? I will tell you what I was thinking. So I had a little bit of a, what do you call it? A mind short circuit, because when I said that she'd made me a shawl in gold, like this megaphone, simultaneously, 2 songs popped into my head at the same time. And the problem with 2 songs popping into my head at the exact same time and trying to rewrite the lyrics of both of those songs so that they would be relevant to the moment is that I cannot sing both songs at the exact same time, you know? So the meeting when I said that she made this shawl out of gold, in my mind it's like I had 2 songs. One, gold shawls, gold crochet, right? All of a sudden it's Goldfinger was my mind, but then also, by Shirley Bassey, but then also You Remind Me of Gold by Human League. You remind me of gold. And both of those songs were in my mind at the same time, but I only have one mouth, so I cannot sing both at the same time. And so that was that I got distracted by having 2 competing songs in my head. I just wanted to tell you that. Drunken Scout says, I would love to stick, but sadly I have to go. Oh, okay. My brain is mush because I've been editing for the last 5 hours, and it's also 1 a.m. My alarm goes, oh no, Drunken Scout, go to bed. It's 1 a.m. I mean, it's super inappropriate to be up that late. I'm also a hypocrite. Just go to bed. Be better than me. Be better than me. Krell's like, you can totally sing 2 songs at the same time. Just sing a remix. Mash up. Yes. Evie, hey, a trooper. I'm all right. Digging virtual learning for the ability to watch streams again. Oh, yeah. It's also the thread in defense of the resistive power of the Academy was great. Yeah, no, I mean, I just think about this a lot, right? I think about the ways in which there's like a lot of anti-intellectualism happening at the moment. Some of my students are into it, and I see people sometimes online sort of being really anti-intellectual, and I'm like, oh, I didn't tell you this. Not you all, but I'm on a Facebook. You remind me of gold shawls. You remind me of gold shawls. Wait. I've run the last week on 2 hours per night. It's sickening soul. Yeah, you should go to bed. Also, what are you editing? Gold. Always believe. Oh, you've got the. Oh, come on. Spandau Ballet? Yeah. Oh, yeah, be right. Yeah. Good night, Drunken Scout. Also, yeah. Ooh, Spandau Ballet. Oh, but I also feel like Origami Shuriken could be fit into like Goldfinger somehow. That's all I'm saying. I was up last night way too late, just kind of looking at research on World War II France again, and because I was basically, there were a bunch of names I was trying to like pin down, and I did not need to be up that late, but I'm not going to be up that late tonight. I'm going to go to bed by 2:30 tonight. It's going to happen by 2:30 tonight. I'm going to bed, just so you know. I'm as bad as you when it comes to sleep. I just had coffee to define nature and sleep. Yeah, I'm just telling you that I am going to bed by 2:30 tonight. I am. Well, I mean, CR, when it runs late, it doesn't usually run that much later than 2:30, so I feel like 2:30 is a good estimate. Drunken said, I recently made the idiotic decision to start a YouTube channel. Not the best idea when you already work and study alongside. What's your, Drunken, what's your YouTube channel about? What's going on in your YouTube channel? Speaking of which, I'm going to sing We're in the Money. As sung by Ginger, while I'm waiting for Drunken Scout to tell me what's going on. As sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers in 1933, in thanks for the bits that B. Wright gave me to highlight the gem appeal. And I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin because that's how Ginger Rogers did it. Irway and hey, the anime. Irway and hey, the anime. Ivay at gile at way at weeks to tit gile young way. Irway and hey, the anime. Either I skaze or any say. Old man did yes and pray, ooh, are ooh, three, west and way young ray. E ever eat bread, lay arms lay, of way at brands lay today. And we see the end, the order will look at the eye, in the eye, we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Oh, I love that. I mean, if Critical Role runs super late, I can push it to 3 at the latest, but there's no way. I'm going to aim for 2:30, no later than 3, because also I've got like a meeting at like 10:30 in the morning, maybe. I agreed to do an extra office hour at 11, so anyway, I've got to get up a little bit earlier anyway. That's all I'm saying. Good night songs. So right now, mostly gaming stuff. Oh, cool. Most of the stuff is private, and I'm now feeling my editing skills and whatnot. Spent the better part of an hour trying to get some overlays and audio to work. Yeah, Drunken Scout, I'm gonna have to learn how to do that myself, because I want to make some videos. Oh, well, my sub is taking a second. Your sub has not come in yet, Evie. Oh, yeah. See, all that is really good. I wanted to tell you something. Oh, yeah, I remember what it was. So I'm on this Facebook page, not you all. And this Facebook page is like really ridiculous. It's super ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is. What I'm trying to tell you is that it is ridiculous. And that ridiculousness is, I'm just waiting for the sub from Evie to come through, and then boom! I'll stay in my blanket for all day and read, because we have a Category 2 warning for heavy rain and cloud break. Ooh. Oh, I've been listening to a lot of Dutch. Anyway, so, it's like, it's a it's a Facebook page for ethnomusicology. Ethnomusicology is the field that tends to study, you can study anything technically, but they tend to study non-Western culture, non-Western music, usually folk music, sort of like non-commercial music. Like classically, ethnomusicology is where people, like, it comes out of anthropology. People go off to a place, they learn how to play the instrument, and they are there with the people, and then they write about it, usually non-Western. Ooh, when you go live, Drunken, you should let me know. Drunken, when you put some of your videos live, will you put it in our Discord so that I can check one out, because I'm excited by things like that. If you want to check it out, which I do, the channel's exact. Have you made it live? Have you actually? Hold on. Let me see. YouTube.com Drunken Scout. No, that's not it. No. Maybe, here, I know what I'll do. I wonder, maybe you don't have an underscore. Let's try Drunken Scout. No. Let's try Drunken Scout. Yes, put it in Discord. Thank you. Yeah, no, I just did a search for Drunken Scout, and I just want you to know what I found is clearly not you. It is clearly Overwatch? Overwatch? Is there a scout in Overwatch? Anyway, there are a bunch of drunk people, and none of them are you. It's drunk people on YouTube that are not you, is what I want to tell you, is what is going on. And so that's what you have to know. It's what it is. Just in case you want to know. Trooper, says Krellin, I want you to know that a breakfast sandwich with maple brush bread instead of sourdough, and it was a mistake. Oh no, really? Oh, I love sourdough, and I'm sorry that maple brush bread didn't taste good, because that sounds like it could have been good, but I'm just telling you, sourdough. You had an apartment inspection at 8, so you're pestering Trooper about sleep when I should have been asleep myself. That's fair. Most YouTubers don't have a human readable link. By the way, no. Wait, no. You don't have a Drunken Scout. Don't even worry about that. Don't even, will one of my mods make drunk, thank you, Rissa. You can post the link now. And so, Tadkill, do not think that I ignored you. I did not ignore you. I see you. And what I see most of all is, here's the, here, let me copy this link, copy link location, so that I can put you up here on the whatnots. And okay, thank you. I'm going to, I don't know why I couldn't find you. I don't even know what's up with that. But back to the more important thing right now.
Name game.
That's the more important thing right now. The name game. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or F. Or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fana, and fo. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Tadkill, bo, bad kill, banana, fana, fo, fad kill, fee, fi, mo, mad kill. Tadkill, Evie, bo, beebe, banana, fana, fo, phoebe, fee, fa, mo, me, vi. Evie, Woo! Thank you for those resubs, Tadkill, woohoo! And then also, Evie, I'm not a new sub. No, I see you up there, 31 months. Evie, been here for a billion gazillion years. Oh, thank you, Tadkill. This bookshelf is like my academic bookshelf, but also like that shelf there is like a bunch of World War II resistance books for the for the game that I'm running. And then this one is my gaming shelf. I only brought a very small number of gaming books with me, just the ones that I thought that I would need, that I might run while I'm here in person. Maybe we'll see, maybe not. But and then down here, there's some art stuff right there, and then there are board games that you can play with one person. It's really hard to figure out which way to point. All backwards is all. What is KISS? Oh my gosh! What is KISS? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is KISS? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Whoa, 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 ooh. I don't know, what can I do? What is KISS is so cool. That's what I got for you. I love it too. What is KISS? I love it. Hey, Nino, how are you? We're just singing, Nino. That's it. We're having some sings. We're gonna play the Wandersong. Woodstream 1010. Woodstream again. Oh my goodness. A very small number of gaming books, says the man with. No. It's like I only took like 2 boxes of gaming books with me, rather than like all the boxes of gaming books that I left in storage. Because, I have, like, none of my GURPS is there. Like, there are no GURPS. Like, most of my books are not even there. It's just, like, such a small number of my gaming books that I brought with me. Like, so tiny. So tiny. Thank you, Anino. But it's only one bookshelf. Thank you, Krellin. You understand. Someday Trooper has made a song for each of us. You don't know, maybe. We're not gonna take it, as long as you want to, like, yeah. Drunken says, anyways, I'm going to sleep. Go to sleep before you collapse at work tomorrow. Yes, go to sleep. Do let me know if you see any things I can improve upon. Have a great day. Hey, night, Drunken. Yes, What is KISS is awesome. So I wanted to say something about Anino and I have got shenanigans. Of course, I just packed an entire wall library to take $10. Krellin, I totally understand. The thing is, I use the small boxes so I can carry them myself. And like, all of a sudden, when you use small boxes, all of a sudden it's like 80 boxes. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and Nina and I've got shenanigans planned. You don't have a bookshop? Beauty bookshops can get all the things. A bookshop do you mean a bookshop or a library? What do you mean? I'm excited for that new game. So many of my favorite people at one table. Right. Intrigue and concern. So I was thinking, oh yeah, that's what I was telling you, right? So this ethnomusicology Facebook page, it's about anti-intellectualism, right? So this ethnomusicology Facebook page is about like how to make ethnomusicology better. Like it's like decolonizing ethnomusicology is the Facebook page. There are all these people who are showing up on this Facebook page, and their whole point is, and like they're saying stuff, they're like, the only way to like fix ethnomusicology is to destroy the field completely and never have it anymore. And as a matter of fact, we also shouldn't have universities, because universities are only like right-wing oppressive places. And like, we just like, it's like basically if you go to university, all you do is you learn, it's just basically all right-wing indoctrination. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like basically we shouldn't have school or reading or thought because it's all oppressive. And I was just like, oh, not a good take. Right, like that's like, and it's just this like real kind of hey Baron Tor, hey, it's this real it's just this like real bookshop to get RPG books if there's something new you need. No, I mean, if it's something something brand new that I do not have, I'll probably just get it. But I've got a bunch of things on PDF here on my hard drive. Yeah, so I think for me it's I just feel like that's too easy. Sounds like people who never put any work into school, they deserve a fish smack up the head. That, you know, and the thing is, how do I put this? A lot of revolutionary movements and protest movements and countercultural movements and all of that, a lot of them have come out of university students. All of the student revolutions of like 68, and not exclusively, but a lot of those people who are doing a lot of important activist work are coming out of universities because they have the free time to do so. You've got basically you get university students and unemployed people for the most part because they have the time to go off and do that sort of a thing. And it's much harder to be a full-time activist when you're married with like 18 kids or whatnot, and you're working a job like as a wait staff or something. That's very difficult to do that because, you know, you're working in a factory or whatever you got going on. And so like these universities have been this place for hotbeds of social protest, and to sort of just say that we should just shut them all down because all you do is you learn the man. And I was like, don't go. Anyway, yeah, the banking model of education, yeah, decalling as musicology, huh? Also, hey, maybe white people shouldn't mind indigenous people for their culture to kill their field and the school is like to go from like, hey, maybe white people shouldn't mind indigenous people for culture to go to kill the field in their schools. So they're you know, they're in a space. Banking model of education being historically and functionally oppressive. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's just frustrating because and the things I've had students do this before, like, and it's this really complicated thing. I'll get students to come in and they're like, yeah, I think that universities are oppressive, and all they do is like they teach you to conform to the man. And I'm like, why are you here then? Like, if you really think that universities are bad places to be, and that you should that reading is bad, why are you here? Point one. But also, like, these students are saying this primarily to these are often like students of color, and they're saying it primarily to faculty of color who teach critical race theory, right? So like they're taking these classes and they're learning Fanon, and their mind is expanding and they're learning all these new things, and they're like getting new vocabulary. They're being sort of fundamentally opened up and radicalized in these really exciting ways in the university context because they have time to do this. And they're like, oh, the most radical thing we can do is to shut down the universities. And I was like, you know who wants to do that? The right. The right also wants to shut down universities. I don't know if this is a good take. And it's like this sort of it's like imagine the university is a place ignoring what they're actually getting out of it and doing there. Do you know what I mean? Like they're getting this radical education, but then they say the problem with the university is there's no radical education. It's like people who say the problem with the university is that there are no conservatives in the university, and I'm like, where have you been? Like, of course there are conservatives in the university's got all sorts of stuff in there. Like, I find it very like weird. But if white people didn't mind the indigenous for their culture, they wouldn't have any culture at all. Well, they would. Well, yes. Sorry, white people, yes. Ethnic groups, no, right? Yes, right? The construction of whiteness, yeah. This is not true. I have a cousin with 7 kids, and I get tired just listening to her. 18 is kind of nuts in this day and age, right? You know, but this. I'm just saying that like there's a way in which people say all sorts of things about universities that are not actually accurate, and I find it odd. And I'm not saying universities are perfect because they are a part of society, and society is not perfect, and but oftentimes the things that are really problematic about universities are not the ones that I see people complaining about. Yeah, like my burn the university folks are like, burn the university because the university is learning, and learning is hegemonic, and so therefore it's oppressive, and people should not go to university or school. People should not go to school because school is oppressive, right? That's like their framing. And I was like, or like, first of all, I don't actually think that like we could talk about the adjunctification of the university and how university administrations are basically taking away tenure and hiring professors as part-time adjuncts where they get paid maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a class, and they get maybe one class a semester, so they're making $10,000 a year. Like maybe we could talk about the fact that the professors are earning. We've got professors with no health care earning between like $12,000 and $15,000 a year. We could maybe talk about that. Like, well, let's talk about exploitation. Let's talk about the ways in which the university is exploiting people. But like, I just feel like your take is not nuanced. Like, I feel like, you know, or historically grounded. Like think about it. Like, let's think about it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. My brother has 2. Wife is pregnant. She wants 2 more. 5 seems like, hey, you know what? Some people are into it. Like, that seems like a lot. If he's like, at least it's students of color. Knowing where you teach, I kind of assume it was white kids who are legacy students. But the problem is, Evie, Scabby Next, like, I'm currently in a house where there are 6 kids and it's way too many. Polish is like, are we complaining about unis because this is my jam? Oh yeah, we're complaining about both people wanting to burn down the university without actually knowing why, and then not seeing things that actually are structurally problematic. My spin on universities is that my experience with university session races aren't for me, and I think that's fair. Like, and I don't actually think they're for everyone, and I also think that's okay. And I think that it's important to have like multiple different models and vectors of all sorts of things possible. And says, I mean, I worked at a few universities in the Boston area, and administrative staff are some of the most conservative folks I've met, and that is also true in right? I mean, like, you have to like think about this. Scabby Next says, yeah, being able to identify systemic problems isn't the same as needing to dismantle the system entirely, but also it's problematic when you're not identifying the right problems, right? So like, I think that if you're like, oh, we need to do this thing because the problem is X, but actually the problem is Y, then you know what I mean? Like, and I've got to come around for this one. Rissa says, serious question for Trooper. Does talking academia take away from your streaming joy? No. Well, it's fine. Because, like, talk about what's going on. Though sometimes systems need to be dismantled entirely. Certainly. But see, here's the thing. A lot of times, like, the people that I was talking to on this Facebook page actually don't know what they're talking about, and that becomes a problem. They're like, well, the problem with universities is that all it does is it teaches you conservatively. And I was like, but that's actually not necessarily true. Yeah, that's not like that's not a good critique. I mean, I think you kind of get a conservative education in certain departments, but not in all of them. Like you know what I mean? Like that's actually a lot more complicated. I mean, Angela Davis was put in prison, taught at a university. You know what I mean? Like, she was put in prison for being a radical. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that, like, that's not a very good critique. I feel like one has to be thoughtful. And here's the thing that I think is really tricky about my students of color primarily thinking that going to school is bad, is that that's not, it needs to be left leaning around here. Yeah, I mean, and like polished, like for us, I find it tends to be, generally speaking, based on department, like business departments don't tend to be left leaning. A lot of a lot of the hard sciences don't tend to be left leaning. Poli-sci tends not to be left leaning. It kind of depends, right? Depends on your major, actually. So you could go through and have a fairly right-leaning experience if you wanted, or a left-leaning experience you wanted, or somewhere in the middle, or kind of a mixed bag. It kind of depends on where you're going. How can universities be simultaneously conservative and liberal? Make up your mind, universities. This is what I'm saying, Krellin. This is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying you gotta, like, be more thoughtful about this one. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Thank you for that, host. What is Kiss? Aishel says, I think some universities should be dismantled. I've got some problems with my UO, University of Ohio, alma mater. They should be disbanded alone for how they handled the Nike scandal in the 90s. Anita says, economic departments have definitely been super conservative. Woo! Oh, yeah. Rissa says, there was a Lean Six Sigma talk I went to a long time ago which pointed out the following. If I tell you I have a headache and you give me an aspirin, that may make my headache go away. If, however, the reason I have a headache is that Trooper keeps clonking my noggin with a frying pan, which I do all the time, it doesn't resolve the root cause of my headache. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me think about something. Oh, University of Oregon. Ice Shield. I just listened to an interview with one of the Joseph Beuys' students. He was so not conservative in the 1960s. Trickled down economics with practically beating my co-majors. Yeah, actually, I was talking to somebody. It was really interesting. I was talking to a student. I had a student who was taking my class who was a challenge. I mean, I'm very patient, so it was fine, but this student was a challenge. It was History of African American Music. We're going to just walk. It was History of African American Music, which, you know, this is a humanities class. And I was, I'm cold. And this student was having a really hard time with the class. Oh God, university economics departments are like only Austrian and it's disgusting. Yes. Can I help you? Can I help you? It doesn't look like I can help this little one. So sorry. Oh, hello. Hello. Interesting. All right. Oh, there's a thing here. I'm going to bring this over to that one that's sick, and maybe it will help it. So, this student was having trouble. Oh, hello. Aww. Aww. Nice. So this student had all these problems and didn't quite know what to do. Oh, I wonder how I'm going to get up there. Ooh. I'm just gonna give... Oh! Hey! Okay. Oh, are you sad? Don't... Oh. Ooh. So... I love the animals. So this is what happened, right? So he's having trouble in my class, he says to me, because also he said a lot of sketchy things in class, but whatever, you know. So he says he's having trouble in my class because, and I'm like, what's going on? And he says, well, like this class is in the humanities, you know, and I'm, you know, in economics, he says. I don't know the right spelling. It's Boogaloo. No, it's Boogaloo. It's from Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Which is sort of like a dance. The Boogaloo. So what happened was, he's like, yeah, I'm having a hard time in this class, you know, because I'm in economics and like this is humanities class. I'm not quite certain how to deal with it because like economics is objective and it's like just based in truth and real things. And like in the humanities, you just make things up out of nowhere for nothing. And I'm really not quite certain how I can... you meant the beluga like the whale. Oh, fair. Like I don't quite know how to write a paper in this class when all you do is just like make up random things that, you know, with no evidence. That's just like not objectively true, like economics. And I was like, well, you know that economics, you know, it's not objective truth though, right? I mean, you know that like economics is not objectively true. And he's like, oh, no. Economics is totally objectively true. It's because like we can find numbers and those numbers are true. And I was like, Yeah, I know. Like, just make stuff up and get published. It was like, that's not how that works. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Hey, Kira, welcome in. Thank you for the host. And so he's like, oh, yeah, economics is objective. And I was like, first off, we in the arts and the humanities, we do have methodologies, right? We are dealing with interpretation, but you have to ground your interpretation with evidence. So if there's actually, like, we can talk about that. But I just need you to know that your field is not objective. Like, this is not actually how your field works. And he was like trying to argue with me about this one, but again, it's not great to do that. Rissa, and giving Trooper a cast iron pan makes him stronger. Also not a solution for my headache. Finding someone else for him to conquer would be better. It's fair. So yeah, says iShield, the distillation of the scandal was the students forced the university to join a watchdog group, which pissed off Phil Knight. He withdrew his money from the university as a result. Oh my gosh. The point that makes it really skeezy is the Dean Fronmeyer set up a foundation to research a rare genetic disease that ended up killing 3 of his kids. Oh my gosh. Knight was also a big donor that said... to said foundation. He pulled his funding here and pressured from to wheedle his way out. Oh my gosh. Sounds to me like you need to get rid of your president. Yeah. Oh, my pleasure, Kira. Electric Belugaloo. Yeah. This student was either a first or second year student. Yeah, I know. And so he was trying to tell me that, like, objective truth and all that. And I was like, oh, hold on. And he says, okay, so for example, we know objectively from objective true facts that, because this is where we got into a little bit of trouble. Like we had some trouble. I was in class at one time, we were talking about Black Power, and I was talking about the Black Panther Party, and we were looking at the Black Panther Party's 10-point manifesto, the things they wanted, including, they wanted things like housing that was fit for human beings to live in, education that included them, all this stuff, right? They want this stuff, including like community control of resources. And I was like, what do you all think about, what are you all thinking about this platform? Does it conform to what you thought what you heard about the Black Panthers, et cetera, et cetera? And he was like, oh, I can see why people don't like the Black Panthers because they're clearly communists. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, because, you know, communism is a bad system and capitalism is objectively the best system according to economics, which are objectively true. And I was like, well, what? And he's like, well, I mean, because capitalism just makes the most people rich. Like it brings people out of, like, it's the best system. Like, and it, like, we just need it. Like, yeah. And Krillin, they were, but I was like, I don't think that's why people were upset with them necessarily. And I was just like, so the difference, see, Polished got to the end point of my story, right? And I was like, you know what was also capitalist? Slavery. But I don't think that made the enslaved people feel better, right? Like, so your idea that somehow capitalism is like somehow objectively, like, and I was like, hold on. You do know that there are other schools of economics, right? Like, you do know that socialist countries also have economists. There's also different economic systems other than capitalism, including feudalism, all sorts of stuff. Like, do you learn in your objective economics classes, do you learn any other system besides this one? Do you read any Soviet economists? Do you read anything, or are you maybe not getting an objective telling of things? And it kind of blew his mind that maybe there were other kinds of economic theories besides the one that he learned. And he also, yeah, so I had to work with him, and he would like come to my office hours like every single week, and we would spend like hours. I'd have to spend hours on him. I think I got him better. I think it took me like, I spent tens and tens and tens of hours with this person, and I think in the end I got him to understand that maybe it wasn't what he thought, but I'm just telling you, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get him to understand that numbers are not objective in that way because they're being used for a purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're being used for a purpose. That's all. Yeah. Russia, that is what we are called. Russer is what we're called in the first semester uni students, and that dude sounds like. But black culture is doing more socialist than white American. That's true, Carlin. Yeah, and there are also variants of capitalism. There's like lots of different ones, right? Rissa says, I deal with too many economists and econometrics at work. They seem to be eccentric as a group. Yeah, most professors would probably just try to embarrass him in class, ignore him. Yeah, but that doesn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, embarrassing somebody in class and then shutting them down does not get them to learn. And then what would happen is it would probably make him worse, and he would go off into the world thinking things that are problematic. And I don't want that to happen, you know? Imagine all the poor people on social media doing that work where it isn't their job. That's a lot of emotional labor to get one less fuckhead out there, you know, but I imagine he's probably gonna be a person that ends up having power. You know what I mean? And that becomes a thing that I worried. I wonder what this kid thought about Keynesian economics. He probably calls Keynesian economics, probably, actually. I would just make him more hardline his beliefs and hate the humanities more. Oh, totally. And I didn't want that. And in the end, like, I had this conversation with him. He's like, oh yeah. So the way that you would bring Africa out of poverty, and I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, statistically, you would do this and this, and that's like objectively true. And I was like, well, first off, the idea that you should be the one to bring Africa out of poverty is not an objective fact. That is a subjective opinion. The idea that you should do it by selling them cell phones, and that they should have cell phones that you are selling them rather than making their own cell phones is another thing that is not objective fact. That is another, like you have all, like, basically try to get him to understand that the numbers that he had were based on a bunch of non-objective stances, right? And it's like that kind of meta work where you need to get people to understand that underneath these things that seem objective, actually there are all these assumptions that are not objective. It took me a while, and I think it was really hard for him, because I think those are not things he wanted to hear, to be honest. I think he wanted to hear other things, yeah, I think he wanted to hear other things, and I am not the person to tell him those other things, to be honest. Like, I mean, I don't tend to support a lot of myth making, is just, I suppose, what I would say. What do you think's going on here? Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. It happened once here. Oh, therefore it's objective truth. Scabby neck. Let's hope he learns something for the money he has to pay, because this is one of those kind of rich kids that I was like, oh, you're a kind of person that's probably going to be in charge of something, and I need you to be a little bit more humane before you go off into the world.
Name game.
Krellin says, the idea that poverty should be measured in monetary amounts is not objective. This is also true. Critwitch, well, witness the end of the stream as I finish my call and get to jump into a trooper stream. I'll accept this. Yes. Seems like, we're just talking about one of my students. Yes. Kira says, your patience is absolutely incredible. I probably would have done like 1-4 in that conversation on Twitter. Yeah. By the way, I want to thank you, Critwitch, for that resub, and why don't we do the name game? As a matter of fact, the name game. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can rhyme. Crit twitch, po bit twitch, banana, fanner, fo fit twitch, fee, fi, mo mit twitch. Crit twitch. Woo! Thank you for that 39 months of a resub, Crit Twitch. That's wild. Hey, you know my 4-year anniversary is coming up pretty soon? I mean, like in November. Isn't that wild? I'm just saying. That's all it's saying. Ooh. Polish says, this discussion brings me to another assumption that we face in poli-sci a lot. Developed and developing countries. Ooh, hopefully there isn't a nation in the world that is done developing. Oh, yeah, Polished, right? And then also, yeah, and like this idea of like developed and developing also has within it an assumption of like a particular kind of teleology that you should have in order to be an advanced nations. Well, what does that mean? How are we judging advancement? What are we judging it on, right? Like there's so many assumptions that are not objective, right? Baked into that idea that like that's, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just tired of pulling out students from fucked up mindsets. It's gotten to the point that county office is assigning kids to my caseload as I'm the token non-Christian, non-straight socialist who has 100% grade rate. They attribute the latter to the former, so my caseload is just assholes. Oh no! Ooh. Evie, that's not fun. That's not fun, and I feel like that's not fair. Also, you should not have to have like a caseload like that. You know, like that's sus, I think, as they say. Hello? Hey, here. Oops. Here, have that. Also have another one. I just want you to feel happy, little floaty whale thing. Oh, you were smiling. Like, you know, because I just want my friend. Oh, okay. Also an issue of where the threshold for develop should be. Like, at what point does a country change? Yeah. And also, you know, okay, to get all sci-fi for a moment, it makes me think about Star Trek. Polish says, I'm a moderate libertarian. No, don't think the American version. Okay, I won't. One core reason for this is the understanding that I don't have all the answers and neither does anyone else. Yeah. And Sam's like, they don't get moved into the developed category. That's also fair. Yeah, and I think about well, you're still happy. Okay. So I think I can still travel. Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh, okay, that was bad. Everybody, that was bad. And now my little friend is sad, and I'm not quite. Oh, here. It's okay. I can do this. It's fine. We're not gonna die. I don't think. Maybe. I mean, we might die, but we might not die. I mean, it's possible that there won't be death. That's all I'm saying. It's possible that there'll be a lack of death. I mean, I don't know how possible that is because, again, life is struggle. Maybe. Woo. Also, I don't want to jump on you right now. And I don't, like, you know. Oh, ooh, whoop. Or we actually destabilize them. Well, a la Libya, yeah. Polish says, I'm a big fan of opt-in, opt-out, but that would require a little thing called free migration, and people lose their minds. Polished, I don't lose my mind. I don't lose my mind when you, I mean, I don't. I have thoughts about free migration. Too long didn't read as that I'm in favor of it, but I have lots of thoughts about it. Skymanex says people should be free to move around the only rocks we can live on. People start preparing towards it. Well, what's interesting is that people are really into the free movement of capital, but not the free movement of labor, and that seems to be hypocritical, right? Like it's okay for the capital to move around, but it's not okay for the labor to move around. Seems a little sus to me. Well, it seems a little sus. That's all. Just seems sus. But also, you know, I think about how actually some labor is able to move around pretty easily. And I think about this because I'm an American. And as an American, I wonder what's up here. Okay. That's interesting. This is interesting. I wonder if I need to just cross, or if I should go. Let's experiment a little bit, shall we? Yeah, okay. Okay, we're doing a little experimental excitement here, and we're gonna see what we can do with that. Ooh, yeah. Isn't the EU free migration, or did I miss that? No, that's it's not full-on free migration, but I think that you can move around a bit. Highly specialized liver can move around, no problem. Good luck getting the rest of your family there, yeah. I'm also not convinced the nation state was a good idea, which also tends to be looked at strangely. Well, I mean, the nation state is a made-up idea. But you know what I mean? Like, they're not. Nation states are not inherent, right? They're not inherent. We haven't had them very long. We've had other things, right? We haven't had them very long. All ideas are made up. Yes, they are. I just want people to know that a bit more, because I think people tend to start thinking that, like, I hear people talk about national identity. Also, am I frozen? Not me, but the game. Is the game frozen? Oh, I think the game is frozen, everyone. I'm gonna have to maybe do an emergency quit on this one. Let's emergency quit on the Steam, because it looks like it has frozen. Yes. There we go. But like, people attribute all these things to national identity. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, well, you know, this country, the people in this country are naturally smarter than people from that country. And I was like, what are you talking about? Right? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Or these things are like, I'm going to take my ancestry.com thing, and I've learned that, like, I'm 3% South Tyrol, but I'm 15%. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, the whole thing is not, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Is what I'm going to sort of say about that one. Evie says, my older brother is currently looking at moving to Israel via Aliyah, and I'm conflicted, but at the same time, I might have done the same, but my wife wouldn't be able to come with me for, yeah. I mean, it is way easier to move around if you're white, is my impression. Money also helps. Also, US passport also helps. You can note that one. Ice Buddy says, the elderly here would pop their brains. I go where I can get a job, and this cow is all foreigners that have been in the uni in Denmark should stay 6 years here. Chromatic says, hi there. As holder of an interdisciplinary degree in social science, history, poli-sci, and economics, and an MA in history and culture studies, a lot of this is debated in the upper level courses as you become familiar with your field. It seems most of the complaints are of sophomore students. Yeah. Yes. It's because those are the essays we have to mark. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the game went total blue screen, but it's okay. I'm just gonna restart it, and it'll be fine, and everything will be good. I know, but the black background music didn't freeze. So weird. The EU makes it easier to move. I have to support myself and not end up in unemployment. Oh yeah. Americans are this, Canadians are that. We live on different sides of an imaginary line. The U.S. passport doesn't help anymore. I wonder. I see whiteness as a point, and raise you being from a nation where English is the default language. Yeah, or where it has high English literacy. Also being from a super rich nation. Also, right, like all of that, right? You know what I mean? Like all of that together. Yes, but I mean, all I know. Hello, my little friend. All I know. Also, where did they leave me off? I hope I didn't have to start from the very, very beginning. Oh, I see where they left me off. Okay, that's fine. Here, let's, because the thing is, it looks like there's a thing over there, and I don't know if I should go over there or not. Like, and maybe I should. Like, what happens if I go this way instead of just going straight up? Like, what? Because, like, what's over here? Maybe something interesting, or not. Actually, I don't know what's up here. I mean, we're gonna find out. And clearly, there's stuff in here, but I don't know what. The Rota has the value of the U.S. passport. Yes, Evie. That is true. Not have to go wait on Chinese and American food with Chinese names or whatever. Yeah, so I was just thinking about, right, the ways in which, oh, okay. All right. So, do you ever get this fear that you're missing things in the game, that you need to, like, walk to all the places so you don't miss anything? And that maybe, because, like, what if there are things that I should not be missing? These are just my concerns. That's just, like, what if I have to be in all the places? Like, this is the, like, you are hearing the concerns of a completionist. You just have to know it. And no, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And, oh, okay, well, I didn't die, so that's something. I was gonna die, but then I didn't, so I feel good about myself there. Oh, no. Oh. Okay. That was less good than it could have been. Less good than it could have been, everybody. Just noting it. Uh-huh. Well, all right. Yeah. Toyboat says, I have those concerns all the time. You were... Hey, look, it froze on me again. Do you think it only freezes me at this point? Do you think that's what's going on? The game designers need to learn that you can have either secrets or one-way doors, but not both. Ice Bunny says, but that woman is an epic dum-dum, and I verbally fish-slapped her just mentioning that Danes study in Germany for free, and suddenly someone was very quiet. Plus art history in our international field. One of my teachers was one of the founders of Arte TV, and he had curated all over the world. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just note that. Where's my cursor? Cursor? Where'd my cursor go? There it is. Yeah, Wandersong's not responding. So weird. We're gonna come back to it. We're just gonna like go in there. I'm gonna avoid that one part of the universe, and we're gonna see what happens. That's what we're gonna do. Also, there's another thing that we can probably do, actually, that I think about it. There's a thing I might be able to do, maybe. Yeah, no, but oh, yeah, so I was thinking about, so in the US, we have this program where, like, students from some countries are able to come to the United States. We're going to be in trouble. Yeah, that I was like, that's trouble. I knew you were trouble when you started floating. I did. I knew that. I knew that. It was very clear to me that, okay, let's see if we can get up here. Nope. Oh. Whew. Almost made it. Oh yeah, so what I was saying was that there are a bunch of countries where if you are from those countries, you can just come to the United States for the summer. You know, you can just come here and like be here for a year or for the summer, like no big deal. It was not very difficult for me to be able to stay in Germany and get a residency permit. But that's not the case. Like Ireland has a program where if you're Irish, you can come here no problem. And that is not everywhere. Like not all countries can just do that. Just noting it. Let's see if this will get us where we need to go. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. We're working on our shenanigans. Working on it. Just working on it. That's usually when they're mutual. Yeah, but we also have like ideas about some countries deserve that, quote unquote. Other countries don't. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So like not every country. You know what? I'm gonna try going off this other direction. Oops. And see if that will get us where we need to go instead. We're just gonna try this. I mean, I hope. Oh, whew. Okay. They're tied to the ideas about who belongs places. Yeah. And I don't know. I just note that, like, oh, do you know what's super fascinating? Speaking of kind of weird stuff, you know how in South Africa, before, when they still had apartheid, everybody was classified by race? And everyone was classified by race. And you had three races. You had black, white, and colored. And that's kind of that's a system. I think we're gonna just try to go across. This is gonna be our goal. Maybe going across will help us. Perhaps. Anyway, they had to categorize people based on these three categories: black, white, and colored. And so, oh, hello. So what do you do with Asian people in this model? Well, I was told by my professor who we talked about South Africa together, that apparently Japanese people were white, but I believe Chinese people were black because China was communist and South Africa wasn't into that. But Japan had a lot of money, so they were okay to be white. So it was just like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Right, so like how they were construing. Ooh, this seems a little sketchy, huh? Maybe. Okay. Well, oh, I see what's going on. We're probably gonna have to wait until after the wind blows. Yeah, it had really strange rules. Oh, okay. Okay, I have an idea about this one. Yeah, that is decidedly a bad system. Oh yeah, if it made sense, that would be a bad sign. Yeah, actually, Scamatic, it's true. If you were white and married to a black person, living in a black neighborhood, you were considered black or colored. Well, the thing is, if you were white and you were married to a black person, which I think was illegal quite a bit of the time, because you had to live in the neighborhood based on your race, and they were not going to let black people live in white neighborhoods, and so you had to be reclassified as black if you married a black person, because it would not be appropriate for you to live, in a white space. So you just got reclassified as black. So your race changed, right? Like, oh, come on. Oh, okay. Ooh. Hey, we got a bit of platformer puzzle here going on. Remember, his mother was his father's maid, so they could live in the white neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, Whew. I'm a little concerned about my life here. Oh, hey, I have an idea. I think what I need to do is, Whew. Oh! Okay, well, not there yet. Ooh. I still have ideas. How to solve this problem. Maybe. Woo! See? Right? Ideas? Any ideas that start with apartheid South Africa probably isn't a great one. Ice says, I get the impression that the elderly here think there's not enough for free stuff for them when people come from somewhere else, and the Danes can prep themselves that there will not be so much for free stuff for them because Corona helped Entitled empty the government pockets. But of course, you know, a lot of times people say those things and then, ooh, this looks different. Hey, Coldrake. Hey, waves his cane. Free stuff should be free. For me, it's first. What I was thinking about when it comes to Coldrake was, you know, there's a whole thing about not wanting immigrants to come to the United States because they're taking our jobs and all that business. So what I do not have. Oh, hey, okay. Okay, I think I might be able to just jump across when the wind is right. Maybe. Oh, nope, not enough. Not enough. I think I can. I just think I have to jump at the right moment. Yes. Okay, right. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. And now that I'm here, I clearly need to jump across in some kind of fun and exciting way. I was gonna just tell you something. What was I gonna tell you? I feel like I totally lost my train of thought. US GDP per capita is 62K. We shouldn't be worried about jobs. Clearly there's, oh, I know what I was gonna tell you. Signs that them is gonna take our jobs has been going on since we gave the first pop to Z's-Word and blankets to Indigenous. Hey, Super Rave Monster. 160p Twitch doesn't like this snow. Oh, I remember it was. Yeah. So they were like, we need to like do something because the immigrants are going to take our jobs. But what was really interesting about that was that Georgia, I think it was, passed a whole bunch of these laws and sort of laws not great for immigrants. And then what happened, this is so interesting. And this actually has happened multiple times. It's one of these things that is not a rare situation. So then people get upset. And so then this happened recently, like a bunch of people who were migrant farm workers just didn't go to Georgia anymore because they're like, this is not a safe place for us. And then as it turned out, they didn't have enough people. We're in trouble. This is no good. They didn't have enough people to do the farm work. And it turns out that like rich college students also didn't want to do that farm work. And then it turned out when they did, they weren't good at it, and they only did it for like a week because it turns out that farm work is really hard, and they didn't like it. And yes, we had several, right? And so, and this has apparently happened multiple times. Best part, the governor was a former agriculture commissioner. See what I'm saying? You know, people like, they're like, oh, because I was like, what makes you think almost the same thing in Arizona, New Mexico, with all this wall? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's hard. There's no such thank you, Chrome. There's no such thing as unskilled labor, and I agree with you. Scabbydack says, my dad owned a paving company and had several people quit on the first day. Like, that is hard work. Hot asphalt is hot. Where do you think we're going? Yeah, no, I mean, we're gonna try this. Ooh, okay, all right. Okay, this is tricky, right? Clearly there's a little bit of trickiness over here. I am going to see if we can get... Oh! What happened? Okay, whatever happened was apparently not what I was supposed to do? Maybe? I thought I was supposed to go up there. No? If asphalt cools down too much between the plant and the job, the inspectors will fail it for being too cold. Oh. I was reading a whole thing about picking tobacco and how it's actually really dangerous to do because just picking the tobacco will get you... I'm gonna try going up again. Oh. Apparently I won't because my little one is sad. So we're going to... Hello, little one. I really think that the key over here is... I mean, I wonder if I can just jump this way. I mean, I think I'll die if I do that, but we'll try. Oh, maybe I'll just get on the thing and then float that direction. I don't know where we're going. And I don't know what is here. Ooh. Okay, I hope that's good. I don't know if that's good. I don't even know where we are. It all seems a little bit mysterious to me, to be honest. Oh, were we even here before? Like, are we making progress? We are, right? We're making progress. I feel like we're making progress, maybe. But I also feel like this is... mysterious. Mysterious. Coldrick says, my hat goes off to those day laborers who are in Arkansas. Over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 100% humidity, on house roofs hammering those asphalt shingles. Ooh, ooh. I know a guy's in his 70s who's been a roofer forever. He'll carry a 100-pound box of shingles on each shoulder up a ladder. Oh my goodness. That was Scabinac. And Coldrick says, I did one roof for Habitat for Humanity project. Stripped it, asphalt backing shingles. It is a young man's game. Yeah, thank you, Evie, for letting me know we are making progress. But apparently, this may not be the direction we're supposed to be going. So we're going to see what we can see. But see, like, there's like a thing right here. So I feel like, okay. Can you take me up? Will that take us somewhere interesting? No. Here. I think there is something mysterious here. Nope, that's not what I want. See, look at that. Do you see that? There is so much mysteriosity here. And I feel like... Captain Kit says, the snow is really disorienting. I imagine it really is. Yeah. Nope. Wait. I'm going to try to go this way. See what's up. Oh, yeah. We're going to die right there. I just jumped in a bad way. Also, I don't have what I need. I don't have what I need, I don't think. Yeah, that's no good. It's no good. It's bad. It's bad, people. I'm just telling you that there are bad things going on. I also don't know if we're going to be able to get what we need if we're in a bad space. My poor little floaty thing is sad. Oh. Also, do you hear this music? Oh, come on. I hate games that have heavy snow or heavy rain. I hate having to explore in downpours and have monsters so hidden. My brother's trainer gardens and the kids applying are the ones with bad 9th grade help children. They do not want to be gardeners. They only apply to do a job training of whatever. Coldrick says, it was a sucky job to some, a dream job for others. I mean, I can do gardening, but I kill everything I plant at home. I'm not sure I'd last long killing all the customers' yards. That's fair. That is very fair. I'm gonna... this switches so quickly. Something weird is happening. And I'm not quite certain how to get over this weirdness. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something very weird going on here. Hello. Almost. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, like, different jobs have, like, different pros and cons. Well, I guess somebody is sleeping. Does the wind... See, the thing is, I think the wind direction does depend on where you are, but I need this to go the other direction so that I can make this jump. But I think so here's the problem. I need to get one of these crystals, and let's try this. Nope. Yeah, so I made my way over here, but I don't have a crystal. Yeah, and the thing is, I need to get over there, I think, but... Oh, almost. Yeah, this will be a little tricky. Okay, alright, that's fine. It's fine. Such a strange situation. But the thing is, I actually don't know if there are any crystals around here. If there are no crystals around here, I think I'm going to be in trouble. Oh, there's a crystal. We're good. This is great. But I think the question I have to ask is... I think we're supposed to cross here. But I think I can only cross when the wind changes, and I don't know if it will. Yeah, they seem to have a pattern, right? So no, I'm here, and I think this does not feel like it's telling me like I can cross. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's telling me that I cannot cross. Can I? But this is no, that's not actually what I wanted to do. I didn't actually want to jump on you, little creature. Had to read through... Oh, how was that, Polish? Did having some distance make it better? See, here's the thing. I really feel like I need to cross this gap, but the snow is not letting me cross, and that makes me concerned. Because I don't think going back the way I came is actually a good move. But it does not seem to want to let me, and I cannot fly on the thing with all that really heavy wind. So it is a bit of a question about what to do there. Yeah, who's hanging their clothes up here to dry? Ask them for help. I'm singing. The snow does not seem to want to listen to me. You know, I really feel like I should be able to do a thing. Is there... Oh, that's not... No. It's not what I wanted to do. No, we can't see the pattern of the flags. I don't think it's going to do it for us. That means it's probably in good shape. The thesis, unsure of everything. If you're unsure of everything... Yeah, I'm gonna fall. Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. See, it won't. Can we make it across? Can we make it across? Come on, go. And we die. Maybe we can do it though. I mean, I think it might be possible. If I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try one more time. I think it will not be. I think it will be futile, as is resistance. But I'm gonna try. Can you do this? Keep going. Keep going. I think we might be able to make it. I think we might be able to make it. I'm feeling like if we just push really hard, it might be possible. I'm feeling like it might be doable. I think it might be tricky, but I think we might be able to do it. Yeah. I've given it a lot. I don't know if giving it more will help. I worked at a print shop. I saw tons of working thesis papers coming back for rewrites, and sometimes were written until it's back to what it was in the first draft. Electric whale powered by crystals, unheard of. I know I was really, really close, and I really think we could do it. Oh, I've got all sorts of things I feel like I should tell you all. Okay, so actually, let me disable my flux until sunrise. Okay, so we're back here. All right, we're gonna try. Okay, little whale friend. And I think I just need to make sure I keep going forward so we never stop. Okay. Oh, whew. Okay, we got it. We got it. And okay. 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 Well. Okay. Nope, that wasn't it. Wasn't it? Was not it? The question is, how do I get across with this wind? I do give you all the love. Do you think you'll let me float on you for a little bit? No? You won't, will you? Is there a way... Hey, that's my dance. Yeah, the only problem is I can't get any more crystals from here. Right? So like in this place, in this one little spot, I got no crystals. So I have to make this jump somehow. And I cannot sing the wind down. Have someone you know trust check all the references and footnotes. So I can't sing. So I think I have to just make this jump heroically somehow. Let's see. Got it. Okay. That was, I think it's like super timing wise. All right, here we go. This is not also, whoa. Whew. Also, I'm going to note there's a lot of like 20th century violin sounds going on. Poor little floaty whale. I know, but I don't have my friend Miriam with me. And that makes me sad. Woo. Do not jump. Do not jump. Because am I actually moving forward at all? Oh! It's the monster. Maybe it's a friend? I'm gonna try to sing to you. Oh, no, you don't want me to go there. Okay. I would like to talk to the monster. No, not. Oh, nobody wants me to talk to the monster. Okay. Dancing? Nope. Okay, well, I suppose if we cannot sing the monster to joy, and we cannot approach the monster, maybe we go back the other direction. Oh, no, okay, wait. I can do this. No, Floaty. No, Floaty, no. No, Floaty. No. No, Floaty, don't. It's the hero. Pretty good entrance, right? Ice Bunny says, but the German education system has flaws, not allowing homeschooling and only downward movement. If you don't function socially in high school, you get sent to Real, and if you don't have if you still have problems, it's Haupt, and no chance for higher education is unheard of someone moved from Haupt to Gymnasium. Like, I know people always tell me, Ice Bunny, that it is technically possible for people to go from Hauptschule, basically that they, after they get out of schooling and have a job and now have debt and are working full-time, that they could theoretically go and somehow take more extra schooling and then stop their work and then get into Gymnasium, but apparently it's just rarely happens. This here is the worst. What do you think? Too much? Stunned silence. Looks like you're in a real pickle here. Lost in a mountain, giant monster, really calls for a hero, don't you think? Wow, you're really no fun this time. I guess that's fine. Let's make this fast, shall we? I'd say it's finally time to unleash my secret weapon. The potion of... Oop. And I oop. The potion of power, which is a fake potion of power, everyone. Oops. Once you are into that work hamster wheel, it's very hard to jump off. That's right, Kuldrick. Once you're in the work hamster wheel, it's very hard to jump off and go back to school, which is why I joined the Army rather than working. Because I knew that if I got a job as a secretary or whatever it was, I would probably be in that job forever and never go to college. So I joined the Army instead, so that with a 4-year contract that is then over, and they would give me college money, so that I knew that I wouldn't get stuck in this job and then never going to college. True, Brand. Yeah. Spider Buildings Vague takes endlessly longer than on the ESTA that was the normal school. Speaking of being a pickle, I just tried pickled asparagus. It was amazing. I've never had that, but I've had pickled cauliflower, which was delish. The potion of power! Fitting, don't you think? This is the one you got for me. And now it's gonna save your life. Oh no, wait. Spare me the theatrics. You aren't seriously still trying to stop me from killing monsters, are you? No, that's not... Well, pickled cauliflower, I used to get at this, Oops. Well, I've never had pickled pumpkin. Okay. That's bad. I think I should... Okay, I've broken out. Okay, oh, okay. Well, okay. And, oh, well, I'm out of the bubble. Oh. We're gonna do a giveaway soon, everybody, because this looks real bad. It looks bad. Yeah, where's my floaty friend? Well, the sing stinks kicked in. Oh snap, gotta head out. Oh, I will see you later, Kira. Go. So here's the thing. Our giveaway for today. A German restaurant I like makes pickled red cabbage. Blaukraut, yeah? Blaukraut is my favorite. I love it more than sauerkraut. Like sauerkraut, which is like regular cabbage, is fine, but Blaukraut is like, outside of Bavaria, they call it Rotkohl, but in Bavaria, it's Blaukraut. And a really good Blaukraut is like, your red cabbage, but with red wine vinegar, some raisins and apples, maybe. Oh, I could have Blaukraut all day. Ooh. Kira, we'll see you later. My mom makes some every year after my great-granny's recipe. Yeah. Is kimchi better than sauerkraut, or it's just differently seasoned? So I like Blaukraut because it's actually not that sour. Sauerkraut is sort of like has a sour taste to it. Whereas kimchi is hotter. It's like kimchi is hot. It's kimchi's hot, right? It's like peppery. Sauerkraut is more sour. Blaukraut is sweeter. Yeah. Hey Hawkeye, how you doing? Yeah, kimchi's hotter. Like it's hot. Like it's yeah. People say spicy. Isn't that weird, by the way? I'm sorry that I'm making you hungry, Evie. I'm so sorry. With sauce mashed potatoes, so you don't put raisins in it. Oh yeah. I like sauerkraut sour and vinegary, while Blaukraut is sort of sweet and vinegary. And I like my Blaukraut with Spätzle and maybe like a Sauerbraten. Like that would be like, for me, like a delicious dinner is like a really good Sauerbraten with some Kässpätzle and then some Blaukraut. Like that's my joy. I love a good doner kebab. I don't know if I've had doner kebab since I've been back in the States. I've had a hero sandwich, which some people call a gyro, but it's a hero, which is very similar to a doner kebab, but people will get really mad if you call them the same thing. And I've had those since I've been back to the States, but I haven't had a doner kebab since, I think since I've been in Germany. I like my kraut busty and funny. Wait, did I get the topic wrong? Coldrick, damn, Trooper SJP, you would have loved to come over in the falls. My dad makes all that for his time. Oh, time for Octoberfest. Ooh, I would love that. Yeah. From the vendor outside the station in Dortmund, best donut ever. Oh, man. Kimchi replaces lettuce and tomatoes and condiments. Yeah, I will say, every place has got like its street food, you know what I mean? And I will tell you, where I was at in Augsburg, which is a really big Turkish population, Turkish German population, and like there are some amazing like little doner kebab stands that are just like, oh, so good. You know, I just gotta tell you, I have to tell you, I really like food. But there you go. I really like food, and I love getting food in different places. You know what I mean? Like what street food in Korea, what street food in Germany, what street food in Italy, like what are the different kinds of like little street foods or small stalls, and just like getting the different stuff. Actually, what's street food in the UK? Cornish pasties, is that street food? Like I was in the UK for like a weekend, like a week. I was there for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. I was staying with some friends for like a week or 2 weeks, and I think we had it was like Liverpool. I think we had Cornish pasties. I can't like yeah. Kimchi has gochujang in it, and in the end, both sauerkraut and kimchi get pickled the same way by the stuff in the air. We are shocked. Good food. Food is good. Another controversial. Hey, look, I'm very controversial. I'm bringing out all the controversy right now. I know that you might be like, oh no, cancel Trooper. Trooper just said food is good. You know, I enjoy it. True confessions. I really like food. Fish and chips. Oh yeah, fish and chips. Delish. Curry. Yeah. Is pasties are from Greg's. Is curry a street food? Can you get it on the street? Fish and chips you can get on the street. Yeah, I've seen fish and chips trucks, right? In Denmark, it's French hot dogs. Oh, what's the difference between a French hot dog and an American hot dog? Coldrick says, I love getting fresh made pretzels on the street corners just down from the main train station in Frankfurt. Ooh. Also, in Bavaria, so Augsburg, where I was at, once it becomes winter, you'll have the winter winter festivals, the Christkindlesmarkt, the Christmas market, and oh, can I tell you, whenever those festivals show up, the Plera or Christkindlesmarkt or any of those things, you go down there and you can get like sausages and rolls that are delicious. You can get my favorite, the roasted almonds, the candied roasted almonds, which are so delicious that I would die for them. I wouldn't die for them. You know what I mean? I'm exaggerating. But you could also get like hot mulled wine or angel's punch. Like there's all this like stuff that you get when it's really cold out in Germany. I don't know about Northern German. I can only speak for Bavaria. Like, and you get this like there's something really delicious about it. Like it's cold out and you're standing outside in this like market stall and you're having like a really delicious sausage with some like specific mustard and a roll, and then you're having like a good hot wine, and it's like having some candied almonds, and then maybe you get some like really cool like Schupfnudler, which are these kind of like noodles made by like Schupf means to push. What? We're in. Oh my gosh, Kat! Thank you. Thanks for the reminders today. You are welcome, Kat. You have just donated, and this means I'm going to sing a song. I'm just letting you know it, and I'm going to sing for you We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, because in that film she sings it in Pig Latin, and so Irway and hey the anime, Irway and hey the anime, Eve at gale at way of way at way at wakes to tit gale young way, Irway and hey the anime, E the ice gaze are ani say, oh man the ADS and pray, ooh are a woo through you a stay on way on rayo, Eve ever eat red landsley, a of way at Briansley, ute day, and we see the end Lord will look left the eye in the eye, hey, we're in the money, we've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Look, any excuse to be singing a little bit of pig Latin is really all I want in my life. That is just really all I want in my life. That is the fact. That is the fact. What we got? We got fish and chips, food good, apartheid bad. We've got all the hot takes here. I know, Polish. It's just this is me. All the hot takes. This is what's happening all the time. Street food here are Indian tacos and oranges. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Atomic has no real street food here. Chippy vans, yeah. French hot dogs are red. American hot dogs are red, right? Or are they a redder red? Are they a more red? Freedom. Ice Shield, I love you. I had some super Brit-style fish and chips on the wharf in Monterey, but that place is gone now. Oh, I really do enjoy good fish and chips. Trooper, don't end up as canceled as J.K. Rowling. Look, I'm just putting out all the dangerous takes right now. Street food here, Rissa is down in San Diego. Tacos and tamales. There used to be a dude with a tamale cart that would go up and down the street like the ice cream truck at a place I used to live. Ooh. Also, I love ice cream trucks, by the way. One of my cousins lives in Germany, and she brought a mulled wine recipe from a Christmas market a couple of Christmases ago. Ooh, or you know what? There's some food. Like, first off, I gotta tell you, people like talk smack about German's food. German has I don't know about all of Germany, but Bavaria has got great food, and there was some really there's some things that I really miss. Like there are these Vanillekipferl. They're these sort of cookies. They're kind of vanilla cookies that are shaped like a crescent that are in powdered sugar, but they're kind of almondy. So they're kind of like a vanilla almond cookie in a powdered sugar, and they're really if you get them really fresh, they're a little bit moist. They're they're kind of crispy, but they're not dry. They're really, really good, and I would like some. That's what I would like. Coldrick said, I love going to the east-west border because we could stop in the small villages and get fresh baked bread, local cheese, sausage and brats, and a decent wine. Chromatic says, Portland street food includes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and shakes made from fresh fruit. Where in Texas, in breakfast tacos. Hey, Martian Cat. Oh, that's so interesting. Did I miss the first 4 hours of stream? Why is the game open? See, Spider, it's open, Pig Latin in the name game. Two of the things my brain cannot handle. Polished. Alish pay Ipcrid. Cryptid. Iptid cray. Alish pay Ipcrid te. No. Your cryptid is hard to say in Pig Latin. No, iptid cray is not hard, but I think polished cryptid is hard. Alish pay iptid cray. There we go. Gold Digger's song, We're in the Money, from the film Gold Diggers 1933. Music, Harry Warren. Lyrics, Al Dubin. Yes, and by the way, she wrote the Pig Latin. She did that. Martian is all I heard was tacos. Polish, you really just... I have to tell you something about being in Texas. Street food. Heisenberg making his Thursday night nachos. I have to tell you something about Texas. French hot dogs are baguette-like bread with a hole for the ketchup and sausage, and Danish hot dogs are pink sausage cooked, ketchup, mustard, sweet mustard, remoulade, a mix of mayo and pickles, fried, and fresh onions slices and slice of pickled cucumbers. Yeah, I thought the food in Germany was delicious. I upset one of my friends who's boycotting HP over JKR's counseling. How did you upset them? German breakfasts are good. I mean, I think American breakfasts are delish, but I enjoy German food. People say that German food is bad. They also say American food is bad. And they also say that British food is bad. But I enjoyed all the food in all three places. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Polish says, I spent a fair bit of time on the border between Denmark and Sweden. The Danish side is a lot more fun, including in terms of food. Oh, this is interesting. There was a TV show, right, called The Bridge? Was that about the bridge that leads between Denmark and Sweden? There was a murder, maybe? It was I think Sweden's in a full-on crime show renaissance or something. I think it was. I didn't get to see it though. Yeah, 2 glasses of the Magic Brew once a year at the Swedish. Oh, by the way, we're gonna do our giveaway of the game 1980X, which is an indie game, but I'm trying to look up. I can't tell you what it's about right now. Video game 1980X. let's see if I can find out something. So it's an arcade video game developed by the Swedish team Hybit Studios, Sweden, and published by Sonka. And it's an homage to arcade games of the 80s. And it's a coming of age story following an unnamed kid as they discover a video arcade in an abandoned factory and falls in love with video gaming. There are 5 chapters based on different arcade game genres that were popular at the time, such as beat 'em ups and horizontally scrolling space shooters. So it's got a plot, and this is the game that we're giving away. So just make sure, you say something in the next 5 minutes, and then you will be in it to win it. And then that is what we're going to do. Just telling you that. And let me get my OBS back up. There we go. Let's see. The Danes were always good at crime shows. Yeah. Right? Yes. The Bridge. I heard it was really good. Oh, she does, but I upset my friend because she sees Disney as a religion. Oh. I asked her if she was going to boycott Disney since Walt was anti-Semitic. She went pale and wouldn't answer me. Interesting. Yeah, I think these things are really complicated. Full English breakfast for the win, except for the blood pudding, which is no. Blood pudding. How does one make a blood pudding? I assume there's blood involved. Is it actually a pudding, or is it not a pudding? I want someone to explain to me a blood pudding because I just have heard it, but I don't know what it is. That's all. People who say American food is bad are talking about fast food, which is all over the world, yeah. And also we have better fast food than other fast food. X food is bad is based on incorrect ideals of weight. Overweight is actually scientifically and statistically the best weight. You might be allergic to tannin. Ooh. I do think JKR is in the wrong, but I know so many people boycotting her are still going to buy HP stuff and they're just posturing. Oh, well, that also happens. Yeah. Other people buying her new book to burn it are ridiculous. Well, that doesn't mean... I've migraine since I was 14 and red wine is my trigger. Oh, I don't like Sweden in general, so that might influence. Polish, a good friend of mine is an ethnomusicologist, and he does Swedish folk music and dance. And he has done work on neo-Nazis in Sweden. And he's done this really interesting work on folk music in Sweden and the tensions that going on with folk music in Sweden, and that folk music in Sweden was sort of basically kind of like a lefty hippie thing from the 60s onwards. But then I suppose since the 80s-ish or 90s-ish, Swedish neo-Nazis have also taken up folk music to be Swedish nationalism and all that stuff. And so you've got this tension between hippies, left-wing hippies, who want to use the folk music as a kumbaya moment, and then neo-Nazis who want to use it for a not kumbaya moment. And so he's been working on the tension right between these two different groups who both want to use the folk music to do different things, and then how do they interesting stuff. Right now he's working on swing dancing in general, though. Yeah, more and more folks are having to decide if they can separate the product from the person, be it J.K. Rowling, Orson Scott Card, or H.P. Lovecraft. It's true. Atomic says, it depends if it's Portuguese blood sausage or Irish. Marcel's amazing. Gray pudding is the devil's leavings. You're all saying things that I do not know. I need to know what these foods are. Brun or Brun or The Bridge is fantastic. Been a few years since I've seen it, though. I should probably go see it. Oh, I'll go poke the hero. It would be called Sausage by not British. Oh, it's a sausage. Blutwurst. Oh. Step 1, acquire pints of blood. The fewer questions, the better. Scabby neck. Are we talking about vampires now? Blood pudding has blood and oats. Huh. Blood pudding, spotted dick, haggis. None are on my food to explore list. As someone who makes blood pudding, Baron Tor is correct. Huh. I think Lovecraft gets more of a pass than others because the mythos at this point is more than just Lovecraft's work. Well, it's tricky, right? Because I think I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm going to say a lot of people who like Lovecraft don't actually like Lovecraft. They don't read his work. They like things made by other people. In the Lovecraft, basically, I play a lot of Call of Cthulhu-esque things, and I don't think I've read hardly any Lovecraft. I've read a couple of things, but none of the things that I'm doing are written by him or give money to him, or you know what I mean? And so most of the world, and Riss has suggested some recommended some really cool books that are sort of like, in that kind. And also, Lovecraft was not the only person who developed that particular mythos. Like Robert Chambers was involved. There are like other people besides Lovecraft. And so I think there's a difference between like being super into Lovecraft himself and also sort of playing in that universe, which was part of Lindsay Ellis's first Death of the Author video. She was sort of talking about like fan works and like what does that mean for the author, and authorship. It was interesting. Red wines cause migraines via sulfates. You're doing the thing that all people do when they talk about that country. Which one? For some reason, people constantly say the name of the country far more than they do when talking about other countries. Which one? I want to know more. Blood pudding is pudding in English since like Yorkshire pudding. I've never had that one either. As long as you get a polite haggis, should be fine. It's haggis with the light heart. Oh, is it a co-opt? Win thing? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can actually get real haggis in the U.S. due to food laws. Scrapple. I've never had scrapple. Lovecraft has been diluted by a lot of other voices. Yeah, they like the mythos and not his writing, and that was also the case back when he was writing too. So I think that Lovecraft, and also Lovecraft is dead, and he's not making any money. And like, I actually think that a lot of his writing, his actual writing itself, I don't like a lot of his anxieties and weirdness are all in his writing. And I don't tend to find it very enjoyable, but I like things done by other people that are like in that mythos, which I quite like. They like Cthulhu, right? But they don't like the rest of it. I tried black sausage and white sausage when I was in Ireland. I think black sausage is akin to blood pudding. I don't care for it. We're taking this and making it better, and no, you won't get paid for this general stance on Lovecraft. Yes, polished. Morcel has a lot more flavor and oomph to it. I'm gonna have to talk to this hero after I do the giveaway. Only a couple of the Lovecraft stories are decent reads, and yes, the other authors who have based their stories in the Lovecraftian universe have better stories. Yeah. Ruthana Emrys in particular, also Victor LaValle. Yeah. Evie says Lovecraft is also dead AF and not using currently generated wealth to make things worse for marginalized people. Chromatic says Lovecraft is the guy who wrote the Joker fan comics in the DC universe. It matters, but gross. Polish says when people talk about Sweden, they cannot stop saying the word Sweden religiously, and I don't know why it happens. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to start paying attention to that. Sliced up and fried with a few eggs over easy and some sourdough bread is a perfect breakfast. The Scandinavian noir, I'm caught up by the way, is best in the original because the characters communicated in inter-Scandinavian. That means every character speaks their own language. Oh, that's interesting. I think they try to do that in the US with Spanish because I think they did the bridge. I think the bridge was between the US and Mexico, I think. His writing is pretty crap, says Polish. It's extremely hard to read, even if we just look at sentence structure. Yeah, and his overwhelming anxiety about foreigners and modernism is like a little bit much. And I was thinking about, this is the thing I was thinking about, like separating the art from the author. Like there are a lot of things I think about that. But like separating the art from the author is not about ethics. It's about analysis, right? And I think that's the thing that people want to use Death of the Author. And Lindsay Ellis said this. Lindsay Ellis says like Death of the Author is an analytical method. It is not a pass to enjoy sketchy things and not think about it. That's not what the Death of the Author means at all. That's not what it means. All the Death of the Author means is that, I mean, it's a pushback against, certain kind of earlier modes of analysis. Like it's a literary analysis method. It does not mean that you don't have to worry about ethics at all. Like that's just not what that means. That's just not what it means. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Best regular breakfast sausage I've had was in Amsterdam, much meatier and less spice than typical sausage you eat here. Oh, that's interesting. My favorite breakfast sausage is a good chorizo. I love a good chorizo, which is a Mexican sausage with some scrambled and hot sauce and some raisin toast. Not a fan of his writing. I appreciate his ideas. The ideas his writing made available for future writers, says Rissa. Yeah, and of course he wasn't the only one at the time. Like there was like a little bit of a, he gets all the credit, but he's not the only one. He's afraid of freaking geometry, and geometry's not that scary. Thank you, Polish. But geometry, don't watch American Knockoff. But HBO's ability to describe the creepy mood was good, yeah. Speaking of Lindsay Ellis, the Omegaverse video, which I just watched, and now she's getting sued by Addison Kane. Oh, come on. Yeah. So apparently, she's being sued, but like, yeah. I watched that video. Suing Lindsay Ellis over it is possibly the worst thing Addison Kane can do. Yeah. Like some people, yeah. I'm going to just say something. I'm going to go and find out who our winner is for our game, the indie game 1980X. Who is our winner? Who is it? Scabinak! Hey, Scabinak. Scabinak! You are our winner. You are our winner chicken dinner. I'm going to message you the code right now. Whenever you get to play it, just let us know how you feel about it. There you go. There you go, Scabinak. And there, Scabinak. I can't spell anything. There. That's it. Woo! All right. And now we're gonna, I think, poke the hero. Yeah. Ooh. Polished. Why didn't you like Sweden? I'm curious. I have never been to Sweden. My friend who goes there every single summer to do work has had many different experiences there. Not all of them have been great. Hero, calm down. I was scared. It scared me. Ha! Where am I? Because I spent time on that border, and Swedes are awful. I don't like the culture, language, attitude, social structure, politics, or history. All right, that's fair. They were an empire, were they not? Like they had colonies for a while. We don't think about them as a colonial power, but they were. Didn't they colonize Finland? I'm right, yeah? Yeah, right? 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 They colonized Finland? Oh, that was Denmark? Really? Really? Thomas says, I don't like Sweden, but only because a friend of mine got really abused by a girl from there. So my dislike of the nation based on a single instance, which is totally unfair to the Swedish people. That's fair. Sweden and Denmark both did it. Because was Denmark part of Sweden at that point? They were an empire, a very brutal one, and just somehow got the best PR agency in the world or something. Maybe they did. Maybe they hired Don Draper from Mad Men. Where am I? Where's my sword? Did I lose it? Ah, right, the monster. I drank that potion and... I'll look for a way out of here. Hey, Phantom Roll Booth. My only knowledge of the Swedish Empire is where it creates with the 30 Years' War, my area of interest. Phantom Roll Booth, can I tell you something that is a little bit off topic? Well, actually, that's not fair. You can't go off topic if everything is off topic in this space. So that's fair. I ran a campaign. Didn't the Native Americans actually pick up scalping from people from Denmark? Maybe. Maybe. Polish says, my ancestors were some of the people treated like real crap by them, and Sweden has been very good at denying how they used to treat literally everyone. It's funny the countries that do and the countries that don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's funny which countries are fairly upfront about, yeah, we did crappy things, and which countries are like, what? Huh? So it was, I ran a campaign. When did I run this campaign? I ran this campaign in the 90s. It was a GURPS campaign. And it was a campaign that I ran to sort of help bring some D&D players into like a different new space. And it was set during the 30 Years' War. So I did a bunch of research on the 30 Years' War for this campaign. And the setup was, some things are a little bit historic, but the setup was all the players were going to be members of the Cardinal's Guard, Cardinal Richelieu, and it was going to be basically, the Cardinal's Guard was basically kind of like the French Foreign Legion in that they would let people who were not French be in the Cardinal's Guard, to do secret things and secret missions and all that. And so the setup was, it was set during the 30 Years' War before France entered, right? Before they entered the 30 Years' War. And the first mission I gave the players, all of whom were
name game.
I think we had one French person. I think everybody else was like not French. By the way, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say he bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fan, or info. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. A frithial, boba, frithial, banana, fan, a frithial, fee, fi, mama, frithial. A frithial. Woo! Thank you for that resub, Iffy. Trooper ran a historical setting RPG? You don't say. Sometimes it happens. I don't even know what to say. What am I supposed to say, right? So it was, and now they're super entitled about how good they are as a nation. They're very yeah, a friend of mine talked about like kind of a holier than thou attitude that was like frustrating. Roland was like, oh my, yes, right? So it was like an anti-Three Musketeers. It was an anti-Three Musketeers. Richelieu is Rasputin's former cover because Rasputin is a vampire, obviously. Coldrick says, in 1845, mercenary John Duncan observed what he estimated to be 700 scalps taken in warfare and displayed as trophies by a contingent of female soldiers, Dahomey Amazons, employed by the king of Dahomey, present-day Republic of Benin. Duncan noted that these would have been taken and kept over a long period of time and would not have come from a single battle, although Duncan traveled widely in Dahomey and described customs such as the taking of heads and the retention of skulls as trophies. The song keeps getting more trooper style to it each and every time, especially since I don't have the music anymore because I don't want to get hit. Turns out he never mentioned scalping anywhere else, but scalping in Africa and Asia was going on before the 1000s. Yeah, but I don't think it came from, I don't think when it happened in the US context, it was coming from Dahomey. I think it was this other thing that was going on. So Trooper ran the Three Musketeers game from the villain side. Scalping's not a hard concept to come up with. But the thing is that what was interesting about this particular game is that, what was really fascinating was that many of the players, their PCs were spies. So we had a person who was a spy from the Vatican, somebody who was a spy from the Netherlands, who had a bunch of people who were in the Cardinal's Guard to spy, because at this point in time, France had not yet entered the war. And there was this it was a big question about what was going to happen. Would France enter the war, the 30 Years' War or not? And now, Phantom Rollbooth would know, but France was a Catholic country. The 30 Years' War really had to do with the Catholic Spain versus Protestant not Spain. And it really only made sense since it's a war of religion in many ways, for France to enter into the war on Spain's side. That's like what you would imagine to happen. And the mission of the players, their first mission, was to escort this diplomat from France to Spain. And what the diplomat would do was negotiate France's entrance into the 30 Years' War on Spain's side as their ally. And that was the setup, that they had to go protect the diplomat. They travel, they have adventures along their travel, they get to Spain, they're at the court, they're just supposed to protect the diplomat while the diplomat negotiates the entrance of France into the 30 Years' War on Spain's side. The negotiations start going really badly. These monks out of nowhere start showing up trying to murder the diplomat. That's weird. They protect the diplomat. There's a lot of murder, lots of assassination attempts. Diplomat, oh no. Negotiations are breaking down. It's supposed to be like a gimme, like super easy, like there should be no problem negotiating this entrance. And they start wondering what, and at one point in time, one of the assassins gets to the diplomat before the players could stop them, and then a piece of masonry falls on the assassin out of a piece of the masonry just fell off the building and hits the assassin, and the diplomat safe. And it starts getting a little bit weird. So they end up tracking down one of these monks, like, and they have this whole talk with the monk, and the monk is like, look, we have a prophecy. The diplomat is basically some kind of demon or antichrist, and they are going to change the world as we know it. And we have to kill them, and we have a special dagger to do it. And the players are like, huh, demon? Change the world as we know it? Huh? Okay. Was this the channel where we discussed Roman concrete? Maybe. It's so tremendously important to bear in mind how fragile and fluid these national identities could be. What does it mean for the French to enter the war when you had French Catholics acting as mercenaries in the lowlands already? Yes. And when they do enter the war, to what degree, and whose hand is at the tiller? Yes. So Crit's Twitch is like, well, that's a plot twist, but here's the biggest plot twist of them all. Now they know that the diplomat is possessed by a demon and is going to change the world as they know it. How'd they just been able to figure it out how it was made? Because it turns out that Romans meant salt water when they wrote add water. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh. So now the players know that this demon is possessing the diplomat, who's going to change the world as they know it. And it's like this big, I feel like it's a conundrum. It's a total cave-in. We're trapped, and my sword is gone. You ruined everything, as usual. And now, there's no way out. Ooh. Oh. Well. Oh, I'm in a bad mood. You can tell because I'm singing all quietly. I'm in a bad mood. I'm sad. I mean, not me personally, but like, you know. Well, less sad. The recipe calls for milk 200 years from now. They'll be like, how are we supposed to know they make cow milk? Well, it's true, actually, right? That's true. Such mayhem, chaos, carnage is done, and then and it's just like, what happened to the demon? I will tell you. Now I'm going to tell you, right? If it wasn't here, I think it was. I don't think it was here. Gosh, Cooper, I would love to just carve out some time and absolutely nerd out about the ways of the world's religion and this. Right. So here's the thing. I have to take, because this was like super exciting. Also, there's like a taxi outside, but it's not for me. I'm going to find a way out of here, maybe. So the thing you need to know, one of the characters was a Jesuit priest, and that Jesuit priest, a spy for the Vatican, could have done an exorcism to get the demon out of the diplomat's body. But if that character were to do that exorcism, then they would have to out themselves as a spy for the Vatican. So they didn't. The other players could have done something to try and stop this from happening. You know what I mean? Like they could have maybe like tied up the diplomat and then done the negotiation themselves. They could have done all sorts of things. The last assassin comes for the diplomat because there were like 5 or something, and there's like a certain number, 5 attacks, and the last assassin comes for the diplomat, and our heroes kill the assassin, protecting the demon, and they get the dagger, but they're like, well, we swore we'd protect the diplomat, so we're just going to do that. And yes, they did, because they're like, well, we'll kill the demon when we get back in our mission. Like they're like, our mission was to protect the diplomat there and back, and once we get back, then we'll kill the demon. But they didn't. Wait, didn't the Vatican want France to enter on the side of Spain? Wouldn't that have fulfilled their mission? Right. So here's the thing. That is what the Vatican would have wanted, but the player was like, I don't want to give away my cover, so I'm not going to do anything. And the demon was real. All right. And killing the demon is protecting the diplomat. They decided not to do anything. They decided to protect the diplomat with the demon inside of it. And then of course, what ended up happening was that the negotiations broke down completely. No, Iffy, here's what, yeah, these are my XD&D players. Here's what's really interesting, Iffy. They actually didn't mess up history, because in history, France didn't go into the war, the 30 Years' War, on the side of Spain. That was like, actually, that was like, the 30 Years' War is this really interesting sort of like, there was an interesting break in terms of politics, like with that move of France not like going in on the other side. And so what ended up happening was they actually kept history the same in that way, is that by protecting the demon. So what happened? So here's the thing. The world as they know it was changed, right? France entering into the side on the other side, not the Spanish side, did change the world as they knew it. And so that prophecy came true. And what that meant, first off, war came to France. And so there was like war everywhere, like, and like all of a sudden, like the political world they lived in was now a very different political world. And so this is how 2020 came about. Yes, right. So basically, they're not stopping this demon, sort of put them on the historical track that we were on. I thought that they were going to stop the demon. I really did. I thought they were going to stop the demon's plan in some way. They just chose not to. And the demon, of course, knew about it. The demon realized that they knew that the demon was a demon. And so the demon was just like, interesting. And once they got back to France and they were now able to go and destroy the demon just left the body of the diplomat. And they were left with this diplomat who had no idea what happened. And the demon fled. The demon was gone, but the demon would come back. Like, so we continued the campaign a little bit. And then war came, and all of a sudden, like, the campaign sort of radically changed a little bit, because instead of being like Cardinal's Guard doing some spy stuff, now they're dealing like with like war and all this stuff. And the demon would just show up every, 5 or 6, 7 sessions. The demon would show up, like possess a child and like look at them and laugh, like we just kind of like torment them a little bit on the sides, because they felt, it was just like, I really did not expect my heroes to do that, my players to do that, but they did. And that was super interesting. Like, that was like really interesting to me as a GM. I was like, yeah, right? Like, yeah, I just can't stand that this social democrats as if they're the new Dansk Folkeparti. Yeah. Radical change, a little bit of radical change. Yeah, it was like really, it was this really kind of, because I was thinking that what we would do is like basically explore an alternate timeline. But again, I don't know, right? Because you never know what your players are going to do. And I was like, okay, like I kind of imagined, like I would imagine that the players would go and try to stop the demon from doing what it wants to do. That's what I assumed. But I was wrong. They didn't. And so we ended up, it was really interesting. And like, look, you can never predict what your players are going to do, generally speaking, but like, generally speaking, you figure the players are going to stop an Antichrist demon thing from doing whatever badness it was going to do, but apparently not. I was just like, whoa. It was one of the, I don't think I've ever been thrown for a loop more than that moment. I think most of the time I can pretty much guess what the players are going to do within a range of things, categorically, right? Like, so in City of Light and Shadow, I didn't know how they would rescue Sylvie, but I knew that they were going to try. I didn't know when they were going to try, and I didn't know how they were going to try, but I would have been really shocked if they hadn't tried to rescue her. And I just figured they were going to try to stop the demon, but I was wrong. Which was like, whoa. Thank you, Rissa. And to wrap this all back to the starting conversation, being exhausted by religion wars, the 1966 treaty ending the wars brings the idea of the nation states run by ethnicity groups, not families or religion. This is also an excellent example of how players can change the entire slant of the game the GM has in their head. Coldrake, if they're 1666, if the GM allows it, because I know GMs would probably just not allow it. Do you know what I mean? like I don't know what they would do, but like they're just more strongly on rails. But like I'm okay. Like I'm happy for players to do stuff. So any advice on how to live when it hurts to sit? I would experiment with reclining in different ways. to see if it might be the angle of sitting, like to see if there's some kind of reclining thing that might help. Phantom Roll Booth, the absolutely apocalyptic wastelands of the Wars of Religion produced make a lot of sense if you put at least, yeah, and that ends up what happening. I ended up like really sort of playing into like sieges and famine and illness and like and the ways in which the Wars of Religion basically produced kind of like a purgatory hellscape. And so like the wars weren't great. Like the wars were really awful, and I talked about that, and they had to like go through battlefields, and it ended up becoming a lot more military than espionage, which I had planned to be like, I sort of thought it would just be a bit more espionage, but they ended up being it ended up changing some, and that was really interesting. It was really interesting. Yeah, I can never predict what my current group is going to do. They don't believe in tropes, I guess. I took over a planet in my Dark Heresy game. I went in saying I was going to take over the planet. The gym kept telling me it would be really hard to take over the planet. Our boss told the party to stop me from taking over the planet, and in the end, they all helped me take over the planet. I mean, you said what you were going to do. You were very upfront, Krellin. I don't know why they were surprised. Did it ever creep them out that the demon timeline was our timeline? Yes. Yes, it did. Also, they then what became really interesting about the campaign, which was not what I expected, but I enjoyed it anyway, was that then they became a little like, then the campaign became about the relationship between them and this demon. Right? That became what the game was like. Well, one, the Wars of Religion coming to France, right? The Wars of Religion becomes, right, is like a central backdrop for the campaign. But then the campaign became about, undoing choices or dealing with consequences in these ways. And this demon they basically spent the rest of the campaign trying to figure out how to kill this demon, because the priests that were the keepers of the prophecy and the traditions and the ritual of how to kill the demon, they killed them all, right? They killed all of the monks, or they killed all the monks whose job it was to sort of put down this demon, and they killed them. So then the campaign became about dealing with the war, dealing with their missions, but also trying to find where those monks had come from, try to find out how they could actually locate and destroy the demon, and hopefully that would do something. And so it became this really interesting kind of it became a different campaign that was very, very cool. And they traveled to like this lone monastery in the French Alps, and like there's all sorts of stuff going on. It was actually pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Show the players rails, but if they aren't interested in them, that's fine. Yeah, rails, we have rails. Embar Garvin says, my players decided to do the merchant trade run for like 2 to 3 rotations. Further, if the machinations when the nation's not called a blockade, yeah. Grimdark, it was like a grimdark military game, and it could have been different, but that's where they went. Medical advice. Ooh, listen to Hawkeye. Pillows, inflatable pool ring, etc. Inflatable rings can help real well depending on what's causing the pain. Ooh, that's great advice, Hawkeye. Reclining might be an answer, but I don't have $3,300 for that Scorpion gaming rig. See, that's a bummer. World Religion Wars, too big to embrace. Killing a demon is personal, easier to focus on. So like it became like the macro was the World Religion Wars and the micro was this demon. Because I like to have I like personally to have macro and micro sort of thematics happening in a game that I'm running. And so those were like basically the shift, like the shift to nation states. Like there's like a bunch of like the kind of larger poli-sci concepts happening that was really interesting, especially because they're like a multinational team. So they're this like multinational team. Like there's like macro and micro that worked really well. I enjoyed it. Oh, good night, Atomica. Good night. Did they ever find a way to kill the demon? Asks Iffy. The problem is, so there is a problem with this. Well, that's not helping. Ooh. We might really die here. Multinational Demon Hater Club. And what the thing is, this particular campaign was with one of my favorite gaming groups. Do you need food, or are we hanging out till CR starts? Well, I'm gonna stop probably around 8:20, 8:30, right around there. And then I'm going to probably, like I had dinner right before we started stream, but I'm gonna have like a light, like I've got a salad and some yogurt, that kind of thing. I'll eat that, and then we'll do CR. My dad nearly crushes coccyx, and he still has a semi-inflated donut. Ooh, yeah. Sort of like a light meal. So this was like one of my favorite gaming groups. Like I've got a couple of gaming groups that are for me are like amazing gaming groups that I've always loved, and that was the one where it was my army group, and when we first came together, they were all all D&Ders mostly, and that was the group. There were like usually like 7 of us, or between 6 and 8 of us that are there at any given time. We might really die here. 920, that's what I mean. And there were, of that 6 to 8, there were probably 5 GMs who were also always forever GMs who never got to play. Because we were always forever jamming, and that was the group where what we did was that there were 3 of us, myself, Tony, and Mark, who would rotate. We would rotate jamming, and then so we basically had 4 GM slots, and I would run basically a season. This was between 92 and 97. I would run a season of my campaign that would run for like 10 to 12 sessions, however, until we got to a good stop. And then, I was doing the swashbucklers, and I was also doing an espionage game. And then Tony would run Vampire the Masquerade for 8 to 12 sessions. Mark was running Star Wars D6. And then the 4th slot, the 4th rotation would be one of the other people who wanted to jump in and do something random, and they would usually do like a little mini series that did not continue on. Like they would do like, oh, I want to run, this little Old West thing for like 4 sessions or whatever. And then we would rotate back to me, and then I would do like season 2 of the Swashbucklers. And so it would take us about a year to get through one cycle. And I was there for 5 years. And I ran, I think, 3 cycles of the Swashbuckler game, 2 cycles of the espionage game. That's about, I think, 2 cycles of espionage first, and then I did 3 cycles of the Swashbucklers. But then I left the country, so they never got to get the demon in the end because I left the country. That's it. Who isn't a forever DM? When the favorite GMs get together, great things happen. It's like good times. One of our shows is especially designed to be kind to forever GMs and let them play. Yeah, that's nice. If I was still with my group, we would probably could have done that. I liked it. The demon got away. But I will tell you, I love the idea of rotations. It was the first time I'd ever done it, right? And I have to tell you, that moment changed my way of gaming forever, I think, actually, as a gamer. Because up until that point in time, I had played in, I suppose, what is a more traditional way, wherein you have a group that you're in, someone's GMing, it was often me, and then you would just sort of GM with no end in sight. A series of mini campaigns, we swap games and GMs after 4 sessions. Yeah. But I'd be like, okay, I'm going to run D&D, and then I would just run it until with no end in sight until it got to its end. And of course, I was in a game in the 80s that is still running today, right? The Call of Cthulhu game that I was in the 80s and also the 90s started in when Call of Cthulhu basically came out, and it's still running. So it's like the game has been running for almost 50 years now, right? So like I have been in some long, like the model that I was in was basically long running games that you just play until it dies out, and then if you're the GM, you just are the GM sort of forever. Although that Call of Cthulhu game gave me really different really cool things to model off that I still take to. But going to this group that we had in Germany when I was in the army was amazing because one, we decided to rotate, and that sort of brought up the idea of seasons, right? To sort of plan games, sort of conceive of your game in terms of seasons of somewhere between 10 and 15 sessions, more or less, like 12 and 15, 10 to 15 sessions, more or less. And all of a sudden, that changed. It was amazing, right? Because what ended up happening was that we no longer had a problem with people not showing up for game because they committed to 12 sessions, and they're like, oh yeah, I can do a season of 12 sessions, and then they didn't miss game. So we had great attendance, and then somebody might say like, oh, that next season, like I can't do it that next season, so they sat out that one season of Vampire, it was fine. We had enough players anyway. Then they'd come back, and so all of a sudden, there wasn't pressure. Like psychologically, you knew it was like a 12-session thing. You play it, then you're done. And if you want to, you can play again. If you don't have to. But we also got to play because all of a sudden this group. Like I think I was running GURPS, and all of a sudden they'd never played GURPS before, and then Tony was like, "Hey, let's run Vampire: The Masquerade." Okay, we'd never played that before, and all of a sudden we started playing. We played Star Wars D6, GURPS, Vampire: The Masquerade. We played Stormbringer, Villains and Vigilantes, Mutants and Masterminds, Hero, Danger International. We just played so many different games because we were like, especially in that one sort of fourth slot where it was kind of experiments. We just played everything and anything. We also played Temple of Elemental Evil and A&D 1E, and we're like, ooh, this is not actually fun anymore. And like it was this really great experience of playing a lot of different games, playing under a bunch of different GMs, playing for different players. And psychologically, it wasn't as burdensome, and it was just this amazing open space where we really would like just play anything, and you knew, like I never had to say to them, "Hey, I would like to run X," and they'd be like, "No, we only want to play D&D," because we all knew we were all going to like rotate through things, and so we could play anything for like 10 sessions. That's cool, and so we were really open to playing anything, experimenting with stuff, and it was really nice. It was that was a moment that really helped me grow a lot as a player and a GM, and it's kind of formed the backbone of a lot of the things that I still carry with me today. And what's interesting about that is that many people think like, oh, the season thing, that's like a streamed RPG thing. I was like, no, actually, like people sometimes say, well, yeah, like when you play on a stream, it's totally different from how you play at the table. Like it's not at all the same. I was like, well, actually, it's not that different from that group that I had in the Army. Like the way that I stream the way that I GM when I'm streaming is actually not that different from that group that I had in the Army. It's actually very, very similar. So I don't perceive there being a huge difference between a streamed game and a game at the table. There are some differences, of course, but I actually don't perceive it to be a huge, huge difference. And so it's always kind of weird to me when people are like, oh, it's so different. It's like, oh, that was not my experience. Coldrake says, I just bought the alt cover Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. It is a fully fleshed out series of adventures set in the far north. I'm not sure we'll ever jam a game, but it's a nice book, great art, super maps. Ooh, I love good maps. One of our local artists, Fan Art Critters, has several bits of character art in this one, and the forthcoming Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Oh, that's cool. Ooh. Yeah, I've heard you talk about that season thing. I've heard it said that groups usually just trickle out. Yeah, and we made sure that didn't happen, right? Mixing up helps keep it fresh. Yeah, Scabbynack says, I'm trying to use a similar model to convince my current group to play things other than 5e. It's a frustratingly tough sell. Yeah, and I think if you can just get into well, this is actually interesting. Wait, side note. I'll finish the comments, but don't forget Pathfinder. Coldrake says, Trooper is an excellent source to ask about different systems and one-shots, because I end up spending a lot of time really thinking about it. Paul says, it's not that different. It's just remembering that there's an audience. Yeah, that's it. And of course, I think for some people it might be really different. I think some people do not play well. Well, this is tricky, right? Because you're kind of natural on the camera, though. I think the camera would make me self-conscious. Although it's weird, Iffy, because there's no audience here, right? So like I'm just talking to you, but like I'm not seeing huge numbers of people. So it's like stage fright's a little bit different, I think, than like being on a stage with an audience. They say they don't want to learn a whole system for a one-shot. Scabbynack, we can talk about this. I have thoughts. We can talk about this. I have thoughts about this. I have thoughts because this is a thing I have done quite a lot. I've done this quite a lot. And the thing is, I was thinking about, three things. Pathfinder, audience difference, and one-shots. So Pathfinder, when Pathfinder came out with their adventure paths that will take you from 1 to 20, that I think changed a lot of people's mindsets about a lot of things, because before you'd play, maybe you'd get to level 20 or maybe you wouldn't, but like it was like, it's not, but once we start getting those, here's an adventure that will take you from 1 to 20, and they sped up the progression. I think a lot of people, like their idea of, like, it might have made the rotation, it might make the rotation thing a little bit harder, but maybe not. I don't know. That was one thought. Yeah. I know Polish. Most of them barely know 5e. No, yeah, no one, Polish notes, no one learns a whole system for a one-shot, and you don't have to. This is true. We see Trooper, imagine if Trooper had to see all of 30 of us typing, scratching bits. I mean, I'd probably get distracted. I was about to say Skabinak. Sometimes a good one-shot can still take a couple of sessions, even if they enjoyed it. More one-shots will be demanded, yeah. Polish says, my current main frustration with D&D is the obsession with lower levels. Like, I'm sick of levels 1 through 5. Let me have fun with a character that actually knows how to do things. Also, nobody likes pre-made characters, even though they're usually fine with them. Although, you know what, though? I know a lot of people who do like pre-made characters. Although, it's weird. There's pre-made and there's pre-made. Do you know what I mean? There's pre-made and there's pre-made. Because I played pre-made characters at cons, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, once I started going to cons, I played pre-made characters, like, oh, it's fine. I think there's pre-made and there's pre-made. Because I think you can pre-make a character in a way that still gives you space to RP, but also some people don't really want to RP, and so they're totally fine with a pre-made character. Like, there are people who, like, they just want some stats so they can do the things, and, like, they're totally fine with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have no idea of any of the systems, and I poorly gemmed one. Scabadak says, I think the biggest issue is their whole exposure to RPGs is our games, and they're afraid if we go to a different system, it'll be totally different. I really want them to try to Morkborg, because I think they'll like it. Polish says, if I want to play a non-powerful character, I'll go play Call of Cthulhu. Let me have power my power fantasy. All right. And I think I think that just needs to be discussed, right? Because if what you're like is, because some people don't play D&D for a power fantasy, right? Some people, like, especially old school, play D&D for like a very like there's a brutalist mode of D&D as well. But if what you want is a big old power fantasy, I just feel like that's a conversation to have. I feel like that's a conversation to have. You know, I was in a campaign that started at level 20. It was one of my more one of the D&D games that I sort of enjoyed more, because I was doing a lot of like internal RP, so I had something interesting to do. But that started at level 20, and then we played from there, and that was good. We played for like a year or two, like starting at level 20, the big epic level campaign that was D&D 3.5, and so there was like cool stuff to do because you had extra levels. Yeah, there are kind of generic pre-mades and ones that are very thoroughly thought up. Yeah, and there's some that like it's pre-made, but you still have a lot of space you can do inside. I want to try Morkborg. Many people play D&D as a tactics game. It's true. Polish says, well, yes, but it's the extreme focus on lower levels that irks me. It's so rare I get to play anything high level. Yeah, just say, hey, I want to play a high level game, and then people, and like, because I'm sure there are people who want that. I'm sure there are people who want that. So did you become gods? We did not become gods in that campaign, actually. We didn't. There were some bad guys that wanted to open a portal to destroy the world. So we had to it was a very big globe-trotting campaign where we had to like go around the world to sort of try to stop these extraplanar beings. It was very Cthulhuid in some ways. And like all these different people who were very powerful people who were all very, very different, paladins and thieves, right, had to work together to stop the big huge calamity that was happening. It was all right. Old players are tired of being murder hobos. It's why many are having more theater of mind and puzzle adventures. I honestly play anything if someone asks me. At its heart, D&D is a tactics game. It took me a long time to find one. Oh, good. That's what I always say, Jared, that D&D is a war game with RPG trappings. Now imagine my group that started Curse of Strahd as first level players. I know several people have been playing for well over a year and have never gotten to play anything high level. Well, I think that some of this polish has to do with always restarting. Like I don't, on stream, I don't tend to play a lot of D&D. I have only played D&D in one-shots. only. I've not played any D&D campaigns. No, that's not true. I was in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, but that didn't last particularly long because it just didn't. Not on my end. It just didn't. And so I didn't get very far there. But so I've only played one shots where you're not really leveling up anyway. But you would think there'd be more journey to the level 20 stuff going on with Critical Role, with all their characters, like they're at 13 level now or whatever. They ended at level 20 with all the adventure paths. You'd think that there'd be more upper level stuff. Like, you'd think there would be more. Like, I would think that. But if people are always only resetting every time, I'm having thoughts. Thoughts are percolating my brain. Actually. Yeah. Polish is like, and by that I mean most things don't go past level 5. Huh. If you don't end COS as a Planetar, what have you been doing? I've never played Courier 3's 5e longer than a session. Well, we finally have one where we're level 11 and counting. Oh, that's cool. Now we started from scratch from the entire revamped Giant series, and it took over a year going from 1 to 12. Even the official stuff focuses on lower levels. There are no modules that go all the way to 20. Really? Interesting. Maybe we should play more games with the Foxhole. 915 Trooper, thank you. Can we finish the conversation? Yes. I played so many low-level characters in my first deep dive after a decade of not playing, and I got dragged into level 14. Level 14 is a trap anyway. It's really interesting. I think about this because I think there's some interesting, like I'm wondering about this. Yeah, Rise of the Rune Lords does go to 20, but it is Pathfinder, and maybe that's the thing, because I know that Pathfinder did a lot of 1 to 20 things. Like Rise of the Rune Lords, I think a number of their things are level 1 to 20. But I don't know if D&D is doing that, right? Oh, Courier 3, you like Pathfinder 2? D&D needs to come up with a very versatile campaign that picks up with the characters just finished after another module, yeah. So I had a thought about streaming. Let me finish this conversation. I might really die here, the hero. You can't do anything? Not without my sword. Oh, what about the Rainbow Girl? Who? The Rainbow Girl. You know, the messenger of Ea? You mean Ayala? She has a name? She's not coming to help. Back in Chandesh, I told her to leave and never come back. Why did you do that? She bothered me. She's manipulative and pushy. She's supposed to be my guide, but she's just told me what to do without letting me think for myself. Like she knows better. Last I checked, I'm the hero, not her. A real hero shouldn't be bossed around all the time. If you just follow what everyone says, then you never decide anything for yourself. It's demeaning. You probably wouldn't understand. Ayala didn't either. She'd just tell me what to do, where to go. But I'm not her puppet. It's my job to save the world. And to do that, I had to cut her off. She bothers me too. She told me I could save the world by meeting all the overseers and singing the Earth Song. She didn't even tell me you would be killing them. She thought I would quit before I found out. And after that, she said there was still a chance it would work, and that I was special, and she believed in me. But it doesn't feel like it at all. The overseers are dying so fast. But no matter what I do, everything's getting worse. When I asked about you, she said, "Don't worry about that little bard. The Earth Songs is totally made up, and it'll never work. You're the real hero." That's rude. She said that? I thought she said the same to you. I had no idea why you kept trying. Guess it makes sense now. She just lied to you. No, she told us different things. Maybe she lied to you, or maybe to both of us. She would never lie to me. I'm the hero. She just told you what you wanted to hear. Ooh, that's rough. But she told you you aren't the hero? Yeah. She tested me with your sword, I think, but I couldn't use it. Oh. You must be really special to be able to use it, I think. It kind of makes me jealous. Really? I'm really scared about the world ending. I wish I could do anything to stop it. I want to make a difference, but I'm so small and unimportant. You can change things. You can make things happen. But you're using your power to kill overseers. I don't want to give up on the world, but it feels wrong to end everything. I wish it was my choice. Well, that's a relief. Huh? With all of Ayala's lies, I thought for a second that, well, it's ridiculous, but it made me think maybe I wasn't actually the hero? Before this all started, I felt like you do. Small, weak, normal. Being the hero isn't easy. You have to know how to act. Were you even listening to me? Don't you have anything to say about that? Making the world end? You're fine with that? Well, I don't know. It's the way it works. How do you know that's how it works? You said yourself that Ayala told lies. What if that was one of them? I know it because I'm the hero. But what if it's made up? You said you were worried you weren't the hero. You didn't let me finish. But what if you aren't? I am. I can use a sword and you can't. That's how it is. But why does using the sword make you a hero? Because that's how it works! Look, whatever. I don't care if you think I'm the hero or not. It's totally inconsequential. Okay? It doesn't change anything about our situation. Oh, people. We're really trapped, huh? Yeah. I want to see what people are saying. This is what I want to say. Because people are saying things. I had a thought about streaming. I haven't thought about streaming, actually. And never getting... Although, that's what I had a thought, but I don't think it's actually true. But I'll say it anyway, but I actually think it's not true. I will get there. I will get there. I will get there. I will get there. Spoilers, but we have plans for going from our shorter adventure to high-level Curse of Strahd game. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Ambar Garwin says, I think there are probably some isolated modules, but no hardcover modules. Krellin says, I did run a 1 through 20 campaign in 3E. Only one character went the whole way through, though. Yeah. Barator says, I tend to wonder if there are motivations for my character after 13 or so, since they're pretty dang epic at that point with 5E. That's why I tend to get like really personal, my motivation, so I can sustain it, you know? I never played Pathfinder 1 on account of D&D 4. An awful group of players putting off D&D until, well, this year. Oh, I'm so sorry, Courier. Notice how the hero was only worried about I might die here, totally ignoring that Lala is standing right there. Yes, Coldrake, thank you. 13 in CR was when they were facing world-shattering foes. It's true, Krellin. Scabianac says, yeah, you need some pretty high evolving aspirations per character to make it to 20 and have it make internal sense. Yeah. Cryptid said, Polish says, my sorcerer has never felt less powerful than at levels 9 through 11. It's psychological for her. Oh, interesting. Because bigger the threat, group bonding, and motivations aligning. Yeah, Barantor says, yeah, my wonder is why would a level 13 stay with a group doing things and not worth throwing for motivations? Yeah, like at level 1, we had a huge struggle. Also, This makes me think about old D&D, actually. I'll get there. Coldrake says, exactly, Scavenak. We work hard for those low-level background story arcs, but never think maybe I should retire before I die in that next cavern. You just have to have bigger goals. At that point, it has to be world-altering events. Or, yes, but they can be done differently. Or things that, as Polish said, are things they really care about. I admire my character to retire after getting out of Ravenloft and Curse of Strahd. Like my epic level fighter, rogue, who started at level 20, had motivations, had big motivations. The campaign was about this big, huge, world-shattering thing, but my character's motivations were to sort of help create a halfling homeland, because our halflings didn't have one. And that is a thing that a level 20 character, that is a goal that a level 20 character might have. Like, I'm a level 20 character, and my halfling people have no homeland, and I am going to work to try to create one through really sketchy means, because my character was not a good person. But like, you have to, like, I think you just have to really sort of think about, like, what are these, and there was an Eberron campaign, and we were all from the place that got destroyed, and my character wanted to, go back and fix those problems. So like, you just have to like scale your goals, I think. I tell players if they need to retire a character to just let me know and we'll work something out. This is Scavenak. Can cycle them out for a character's motivations fit better with the campaign group. Totally. Polish said, my sorcerer accidentally broke the universe, deck of many things, and is now being punished by the fates. And Olzalt the Big Feather. Oops. Courier 3. You sound like my dream GM, Scabby. I'm bad at making characters last past a single arc. She can't even, Polish is like, my character can't even imagine retirement. Courier, I think that Courier, I think, in my opinion, I think this is about your GM, right? Because if a player can't think about that thing, that probably means they don't yet have experience doing that, right? Because sort of coming up with that level of goal takes practice, and it's a skill, and not everybody has it to start with. And if you don't have it to start with, all that means is the GM has got to go and help you get there. And if your GM doesn't help you get there, I feel like your GM should be helping you get there. Your GM should be building things to help you start having those, or play a game in a slightly different way. Like, there are different ways to set up that game. If you're doing a slice of life game, then that is not necessarily as important. Like, is it a cyclical game? Is it like a teleological game? Like, what's the campaign about? And I just think that, I mean, basically, I think that people have to be more aware of the fact that playing these games in different styles takes different skill sets that can be learned, but they just actually have to be done deliberately and to help people get there. Like, you just can't throw them in and like, yes. High level characters turn up running taverns or being blacksmiths or running the local library. I'm just really scared about the world-ending mood, Bard mood. A high level retired character running a tavern when a party who loves to throw their weight around is always funny. Polish says, Vitra might go back to running a tavern. It's what she did before adventuring. Coldrake, with all this mood suddenly in my head, I'd like to teach the world to sing like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'm going to stop in like 5, more or less. And we are the heroes of our own stories, yeah. Hero almost had self-reflection there for a second, almost, but then gave it up. Good people are just people who aren't willing to do what it takes. Polish says, I can smell a tavern talks topic happening here. Carl says, it's now 5 minutes later than when I asked Trooper about the time he hasn't got to it yet. No, I'm right here, right? Yes. I think so. One of my players in my current game wants to become a lich. That's motivation. Definitely, Pathfinder is teaching me skills I just didn't need in VTM Shadow. Yeah, and actually, this is something I think is really interesting. People are like, D&D is like a crap game. It's not good. Like, the real game is like, VTM or whatever. Like, no, they just need different skills. They're just different styles of game that require different skills. That's all. And you may not like those skills. You may not like that game, which is fine. But like, there are skills that help make D&D work better for you, depending on how you're playing it. Like, and that's super legit. Krillin, your reminders are reminding me of those commercials, and I'm thinking you wouldn't steal a car. Maybe. D&D helps building heaps of skills, as do most of them. Totally. Not gonna lie, Licham sounds pretty good right now. I wonder if we're gonna... Also, Trooper, have you told us all the thing you meant to tell us at the beginning of the stream? I want my friends to brave systems other than D&D. And Bar Garwin, I'm always nervous about that statement. And here's why. we would not find it acceptable the other way around, right? And if the GM is good, playing D&D, excellent therapy in a quirky way. Like, we would not find it acceptable if somebody kept badgering a player who just wanted to play indie story games to keep playing D&D. Like, we would find that unacceptable. If we're like, why don't you play D&D? You gotta play D&D. You should play D&D. Come play D&D. You should be playing D&D. Why aren't you playing D&D? We would find that unacceptable. If this person's like, I just want to play, Honey Heist. I don't want to play D&D. I don't like it. I don't want to play it. We would never find it acceptable for people to badger someone to play D&D. And yet we find it acceptable to badger people who only want to play D&D into playing things other than D&D. I think we can offer with love, but I think that like badgering people and sort of framing it as you'll be a better person if you play not D&D, I think it's not a good take. I think it makes it less likely for people to actually want to play games other than D&D. That happens with GMing, says Polished. Yeah. Oh, with GMing, that because people sometimes want the GM to GM them D&D. Yeah. I offer with love. Yes, offer with love. Few games offer what D&D does. To be honest, yeah. They express staleness. Now, if they express staleness with D&D, you can say, hey, if you feel like D&D is a little stale, here's an offer, right? You offer with love and with respect. Yes. We had several teens who were looking for a safe place to hang out. Most barely spoke in the beginning. After a couple of months, we had a female who was such a rogue. She was amazing. All of them found their voice at the table and beyond. Yeah. I'll tell them that you'll be a better person aspect, because it's not, that's rude. It's rude. You know what I mean? It's rude. It's not very nice. Like there was that podcast. It's like D&D is the, oh my God. The podcast, D&D is the girl you date in high school before you find your true love. And I was like, this is so offensive. Like D&D is not even my main system. And that is like super offensive on so many levels. It's covert sexist, although I feel like it's more overt. Like there's just like, that was a podcast that I was like, oh, that's super gross. That's super gross, right? Like I was like, oh, come on. A lot of the anti-D&D people I follow are indie game designers. Being anti-D&D is marketing, which it is, and it makes them cool. And the thing is, I think you offer, right? I think you offer. And if somebody says, I'm playing D&D, but I don't like that D&D has combat in it, and I want to play D&D with no combat, I think what I might say is, hey, well, there are some games that don't have combat in it at all. If you would be interested in, but you can still play D&D with no combat if you wanted to. Like, but there's some other options. But like but not frame it like if you don't, you're dumb. Women are not a learning experience; they're people. Yeah. Yeah, it's a super gross take. It's such a super gross take on so many levels. I just want to play or even deem a system other than D&D. Yeah. I just want to play 5e for more than one session. Yeah, I bring up other systems occasionally and said I'd really like to try them with the group. Yeah. Coldrick. And today, while driving back from the game shop, I started counting up how much I've spent on books and dice. Oops, but dice. Yeah. Also that they'd be better people. And though I will say there are problems with Gygax that are pretty serious, but Gygax is not the only author of D&D. That's the thing I think is really important to note. Gygax is not the only person who made D&D. First off, we just want to go by name check official on the paper, and Gygax is also pretty dead. And also, Gygax was kicked out of the company because he was sketch, right? Like, first off, it's Gygax and Arneson. If we wanted to talk about who's got names on things, it was never Gygax by himself. There was also Dave Arneson, who we never talk about, which is messed up. But also, there are other people, including women. There are all sorts of people who are involved in that creation of D&D, and they kicked out Gygax. Like, Gygax has not been in D&D for a very long time. A very long time. And so I just kind of think that, like D&D is a collective creation. Yeah. Like Ed Greenwood and his Crazy Wizard, trans women. Yeah. There's like, yeah. D&D can be nice, but I'm feeling kind of more in the mood to play a farrier assigned to a 19th century British regiment during the Peninsular War. Oh, well, funny. I have some ideas for you. All right. And then also D&D, because it's a role-playing game, is also created at the table. Right, like my D&D that I play at the table. I mean, D&D the glory of RPGs is that RPGs are not books or movies. They are partially created by the players and the GM at the table, right? The D&D rulebook or the Good Society rulebook or all these rulebooks are not the game exactly. They lead you to a place, but they're not the game all by itself, because the game is realized at the table with the people playing there. And so every time I play D&D or any game, I am also the author of that game. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Have I purchased that officer's jacket? Yes. Hat? No, because we're going to be indoors most of the time. But, I have the jacket. I have the jacket. Polish said, I do enjoy playing a range of games. There are several itches that need scratching now. Changing our Castle Falkenstein, yeah. And the players, they make the game, right? It's part of it. My D&D is very different than the D&D that Gary would build. Oh yeah, and D&D now, D&D 5e is so different from D&D first edition. They're so different. They are not in the same world. I mean, they're so different. They're so different. Please stop explaining Turpa's ADHD so he does not eat or sleep or host streams. Okay. You really want to know the truth? We're going to finish this conversation. You really want to know the truth? I am scared about ending the world a little bit. But that's what the hero is supposed to do. I can't let my little fears control me, even if sometimes it means I have to pretend. I couldn't say that to Yala, because then she'd think I wasn't the hero. What if she changed her mind, took back my sword? I'm the one who's going to save the world. I can't just go back to being nobody. Happy now? I don't know. I mean, now that she's gone, and you can really decide for yourself, you don't have to do it, do you? What if it's the wrong way to save the world? Have you thought about it? If you still really want to? No. Well, a little. I considered all the angles, but that's the way it has to be. I don't know anymore what was real, what was just stuff she said. But if there's a chance, even just a tiny one, that the world didn't have to end and everything would be okay, isn't it worth it to try? Audrey? What was that sound? I think we stop here. What was that sound? That's a stopping point. That's a stopping point. That's a stopping point, everybody. That's where we stop. Right there. Right? Because I feel like that's like the big break, right? And then we go. Where are we? So here's yes, agreed. A great cliffhanger. So here we go, everybody. I want to thank you for being here. I really enjoy hanging out and chatting with you all. I enjoy it a lot. Like it makes me really happy. So let me tell you what's up. So tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be hosting Critical Role. If you want to watch it, but be in a chat that does not have 50,000 people in it, you can hang out with us. Tomorrow, which is Friday, I don't know if we will have Aether's Walkway. It's a little bit up in the air because there was the hurricane that sort of knocked out the internet for the person who's hosting right now. So we may have Aether's at 1 p.m., but I don't know. We will find out. It's unclear, and I should actually probably ask because I need to chat with somebody about something else. And then at 7 p.m., we have City of Light and Shadow with our two special guests, Pumpkinberry and Marcus, Best Kind of Worst, Drunkly Romantic, coming in guest starring because Grimjack and Holy Stiver will not be there. And then Saturday at noon, you can find me at here on this channel, noon Eastern, for the Outer Worlds. Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern in the morning, you can find me at Roll For It playing a one-shot of Good Strong Hands, which is the new game by Nerdburger Craig, which is in the Kickstarter right now. I have played with him his capers. I've done capers with him, and now I'll be doing good strong hands. I'm be playing where did I put it? Where did I put it? I have, maybe I put it in a different place, but I have Ivy. I have Ivy and everything. I'm playing a tree creature, everyone. And then of course you can find me next Thursday here. That's what I got going on. And what do we have? We have things going on. So we have these big, right? I'm really happy to have you here, Iffy. Thank you for posting my socials, Jer. You can follow and subscribe if you have not. You can find me, this is Trooper SJP, you can find me here. You can also find me at Trooper SJP on YouTube, where there's the archive of our shows. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter. I also have a Patreon, which is at Academic Foxhole, and that Patreon goes to pay for the cast and the artist and the music people, all the costs, help supplement the costs for the RPG I run, which is currently City of Light and Shadow. And so Gabby's like, I have to catch up with Colas. Ooh, I've been doing a lot of reading. It's really good. I've seen one session of Good Strong Hands. It was a fun one shot. I won't be there live because I'm going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Nice, Courier. Love it. I love it. I am not an oak tree. I'm going to be a Groot though. And so animals, if they're poisonous, tend to be colorful. Why is poison oak so dully colored? It's a good question. So I will just say, I think that one, there's a long history of people actually not getting into high level in D&D. That was a problem they wanted to address in fifth edition. Apparently, I was reading a thing about how like people just often kind of stop playing around 12 or 13. Campaigns fizzled out by then, so they really tried to like condense things so people would get to level 20. Apparently, it's a thing. But I also think that there are a lot of streams that don't. I think there are a lot of streams that don't run long-term campaigns, is what I'm trying to say, and I'm going to go. But I think there are a lot of streams that what they do is they run one season and then they stop and then they do a different game. So I think a lot of channels just don't run long-term campaigns, and because of that, because I think people are like, oh, nobody wants, like, if it gets too long, the Barrier of Entry will be too far, no one will watch it. There's all sorts of, like, I think anxiety about it, and scheduling and all this stuff. So I think that the streaming practice of running games for like one season only maybe to encourages campaigns stopping before you get very high level, even if you play D&D for that long. So I think that there's like I think that some of the things with the ways in which some of the streaming channels that are not Critical Role are set up do discourage long running campaigns. It's not, I mean, like, it's just, I think it's just practice, right? That's all. Let's see. Unless they stick to it. Yep. Dots at Good Strong Hands was very dramatic. Oh, I can't wait to look at it. My theory is that they want the campaign to last just long enough until the next campaign is released. Yeah, people get anxious about barriers to entry, which is odd, but it's the only time I see super long campaigns happen. Yeah, that's true. We simply don't put numbers on episodes. Yeah. All right, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. Found that people stopped tuning in when they didn't think they'd be able to keep up. Yeah, and although it's interesting because I've got somebody right now who's watching Kolos on YouTube, and they were posting on YouTube and they were watching it and they said, oh, I finished season 1. This is what they said. I finished season 1. Well, and I said, oh, season 2 starting. They're like, yeah, no, I don't watch it live. I wait till the season's done and then I binge watch. So there's a person who is going to wait until season 2 is over before they start watching season 2. And also, like, you can just watch it on YouTube if you want to. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of, like, I don't know. I think like do what you're gonna do. All right, I'm going. I'm wrapping it up. That's it. So I'm going. And like, that's how I watch a lot of TV shows, sorts of shows. Yeah. So I'm going. I would stay here forever. I'm going to go and like get my yogurt, get a little bit of a salad, get myself ready. And then, yeah, we do with a YouTube fan. It was so exciting. And so we're gonna go and we'll see in a little bit. I'm going to go eat some stuff and then I'm going to go and host in about, 20. And I will catch you on the flip side. And Iffy, who's here, gave me couple new, just like 2 new overlays so that I can now use the little London thing. So our overlay for Coalesce is gonna be a little bit nicer tomorrow. So that's it. Okay, I'm going. I will see you all later, and you're awesome. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.